Morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Let's get our heads so very right on a Wednesday. Man, we started playing that song during the playoff run last year, and it's only appropriate that we now play it on Wednesdays. And last night felt like a playoff game. It really did. I mean, it's a game in April, but last night's game really had me on the edge of my seat, and we will talk about every single detail of that game today, believe you me. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, our executive producer, our YouTube guru. He's a guru. For those of you that aren't familiar with that aspect, I'll fill you in on the pronunciation of that in a moment. Benjamin Higgins, friendly neighborhood sports anchor, is here as well. You guys remember the story I told you of a motivational life coach that we had hired at a company I worked at. His name was Mike Danchak. He was 3 feet 7 inches tall. He had the worst hairpiece you've ever seen. And the first meeting he ever did, he was like, "Hey, listen, it sounds like Foster. Everybody needs to have a mentor or a guru. I have somebody that is a guru." And I'm like, what's a guru? And I go, "Oh, a guru." Everybody needs to find a guru. Be a guru. Be a guru to your friend. You be a guru. I'll be a guru. And I'm like, what in the world does he mean? You can find him. He's this tall. He's like this tall. His weave, you could see the threads of like the elastic of where he would slide it on his head. And you're like, bro, just go all natural, Mike. The greatest guy, though. Really, really smart. But guru has always stuck with me every time. But we are Ben and Woods, and we're all in a great mood today because we have a short show. We get off at in exactly 3 hours. I'm giddy. I am giddy today. I know you're feeling good about it.
Well, I was
Benjamin.
worried that Sam Levitt would be late and we'd have to do the pregame show, but he's already here.
Yeah.
So
What are you talking about?
No,
he just walked.
He just walked in. So we are good to go for the pregame show in
He's
3
not
hours
here.
and 7 minutes.
Why is he here now?
Yeah, he's here. He's good to go. We could toss it to a 4-hour pregame show right now if we wanted to.
Sounds so delightful. Actually, no. I want to talk about this game last night. Holy cow! What a beast! Look at this guy. Get in here. Hold on. What are you doing here? Would you stay up all night?
Did you even go home?
Oh,
You guys are on.
Yeah,
we're
Of
on
course
right
we're
now.
I like getting here early.
This is really early, though.
A man after my own heart.
Well, so I can get set up.
Super early.
Did you beat Ben here?
Yeah, he beat Ben here. I'm glad you're here, Samuel. What a sweet angel that guy is, man.
I mean,
talk about a guru. There he is.
I used to get in about 2 hours before a pregame show. I thought that was ridiculously early, but Sammy's taking it next level, going 3+ hours before his show even starts.
So let me understand this. You used to get in 2 hours before your
You should not have
hour-long
admitted that.
pregame
yeah,
show.
because it usually started at 6 p.m., so 4 p.m. felt like a good time to get in.
You have a 4-hour radio show,
Right.
with your name on it.
Yeah,
Ben,
it
you're the
starts at
first name.
6 a.m., though. That's a whole
Ben.
different ball of wax.
Ben and Woods, not even Woods featuring Ben. Ben and Woods, you're the first name on the marquee. And you stroll in here 20 minutes before a 4-hour show, 2 hours for a 1-hour show.
Pipe down over there.
I
I take pride in knowing that I am still preparing for this show long after you've gone to sleep.
Much,
the night before.
much longer. No question about it. That is funny, though. At a 6 o'clock start, I would be there at 3 o'clock because the traffic, you never know what you're going to hit.
Right,
Like, there's
exactly.
No
Especially
way.
at home games,
Oh.
I'd get there even earlier if you have to get down to the ballpark.
As much as I lament sometimes doing the morning shift, and I do, sometimes I'm like, man, I went to the periodontist yesterday, and he said, "What do you do for a living?" And I told him, and he goes, "Good God, man, the schedule." And I go, "Yeah, it's tough." And I said, "It wears on you." I said, lines around my eyes. I've earned these,
It
like
never gets easier.
it never
you never
ever
get
gets
used
easier.
to it.
No,
You are
no.
still awoken from a deep sleep every single day. And you're
Every-
like, oh God.
every morning. The first word out of my mouth is just every day. 5 days a week. Like, just like that. And I go, all right, let's go. And then you just grind through it. Then, though, every Friday when we're walking out of here at 10:03, I'm like, I'm done. I am done. I think about Gwen and Chris. I think about the coach. I think about everybody that works the afternoon shift. And I go, you suckers. I'm done. I'm done for the day. It's like a 3-day weekend every single weekend. So it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. Even though you feel like a serial killer and like I had no sleep last night. So I'm a little bit loopy this morning, but it really grinds on you after a while, but I wouldn't want to do any other shift. I could not work till 7:00 on a Friday night. There's just no way. I couldn't do it. It would not happen.
I did an evening show. I was single. It was a little bit different. Like living by yourself. It was okay. Like I got used to it. I'd get in at like between 2 and 4 in the afternoon.
Get out of there at 7:30.
No. Like it was a 6 to 9 talk show. And so I'd get home at like 10:30. And it was like, it was weird. It was an adjustment. Like you're making dinner at like 11 o'clock at night.
Just can't do it, dude.
And by the time you unwind, watch a movie, whatever, you're like, oh, it's 1 a.m. But
sucks.
I don't have to get to work until 2:30 or
true.
3 o'clock
It's
tomorrow.
true. It's
So,
not a good lifestyle for me, dude. It's
No.
not, because for me, what it would mean is, yeah, I can come out, meet you guys out for a drink, and then one thing leads to another, and it's all over. I'm running around with my dong out somewhere, but this is the life for me, certainly. Let's see. So today's going to be a little bit interesting because we have 2 really great interviews. That being said, neither have really committed firmly to a time. It's a little bit touch and go. As you know, the Padres are in New York City, and they will be coming home after the game today. We've got our pal Jake Cronenworth, who will be joining us. That has been confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
He will be joining us at his leisure. Whenever he's ready,
Completely understandable.
Yes, we will be ready.
We work around his schedule,
No question.
preparing for the game today,
Well,
not vice versa.
I feel like
the fun part is the rough estimate for when Jake will call in is also the same exact time Adam Jones said he's good to go. Now, we'll figure it out.
right.
Because Jake could get there in 20 minutes.
Yeah, he could.
And arrive to Citi Field and be like, hey, I'm
Yeah,
good now.
I'll knock this out.
All right, cool. Let's do it.
The thing is, I feel like
Or we just have him and Adam Jones at
Same
the same
time.
time.
Jake's rich now. I feel like Jake 3 weeks ago, he would have said, yeah, I'll join the guys at 7:30, and he would have jumped on. He's wealthy now. So I wonder, has money already changed him? I might ask him that question. Has money changed you? No, they don't know when the guys are going to arrive to the ballpark. They got to get in, get their coffee, have their breakfast.
Check out of the hotel.
I don't think
it's
they
a
have
road
to check out. I don't think
maybe
they
the
do.
traveling secretary handles most of that.
I can't see Manny like at the front desk every morning. All
No,
right.
I didn't.
Let me see
bottle of
can I
water.
see
I
the
didn't-
folio.
I didn't. The folio. I did not have peanut
Room
M&Ms.
service, no.
No, this isn't.
I mean, I
big.
jostled the minibar, but I didn't take
crack the
anything.
seal.
It's like my suitcase knocked it over.
Yeah,
I didn't touch it.
I didn't. But you just move it and it charges you, sir.
Do you still check out of hotels?
I do like to see if I've been charged for anything
But
before I leave, because if there's ever anything that looks wrong, it's better to handle it before you
there,
get out of it. Now, if I'm really
Like
it's
you're-
early,
the adult
drop the
film
key
package that you get
I mean,
on pay-per-view on accident.
A lot of hotels, you can just click the TV and go to a channel that
True.
shows you. And
I like
then,
that.
okay, that looks good. Click checkout, leave your key
Leave your
there. and
key
you
right
just,
on the
and
desk.
I just
leave.
walk
Yeah.
out every
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I walk out of every hotel. Just stayed at Rancho Bernardo Inn. It was fantastic for the golf tournament. Just walked out, got in my car, and left. And then
Remember the first time I did that, and I go, "Why did we ever
why
check out?
ever?
What did
Yeah.
what did you have to
We gotta
check
give
out
this
for?"
plastic key back. Like, it's in my room. Just let's just walk out, go to my car.
Paulie doesn't even remember the days where you actually got a key,
An actual
like
key.
actual key
A
to open the
legit-
door of your hotel room.
Is there anything worse than when you get all the way to your room with all your S with you and then you get up there and you put the thing to the.
Oh,
and-
it doesn't work.
Happened to me
Son of a
last week.
It's still red. It doesn't
Red.
gleam. It doesn't change to green.
And then I locked both my keys in my room at Rancho Bernardo Inn last week. I was like, it's the worst thing.
No, my
Give
key
me a
worked.
code.
My
Give-
key worked
give
the
me a
first
code.
time, and then we went from the room. We went to the bar,
Yep.
hung out for a little bit, and then I was going back to the room, which wasn't super close.
It's
to
not
like
super
the
close,
lobby.
right?
Key didn't work that time. The second time I tried to get into my room, like, oh,
They
crap.
say you're
I walked
not
all the way back.
you're not supposed to put it like next to
your
your
phone.
debit card. I thought it was debit
Oh,
card.
I thought it was your phone was gonna.
I always put it in my wallet.
I
though.
do too. But I like tuck it in a sleeve, and you're not supposed to put it like next to your. I thought it was your debit card. It might be phone. It's something, but so anyway, we'll wait to see what happens with those guys. So thanks for being patient with us. We also have to be patient. I'm feeling good though. I feel good that both Adam Jones and Jake Cronenworth will be joining
hell of
us
a
today.
day.
It's a hell of a day. I'm very
And
excited
we're off
about
an
it.
hour early.
And we're off and out. This is the best day of my life.
Just
Literally.
for anyone who was curious after my tweet last night, by the time I got home, the possum appeared to be gone.
Well, explain the tweet because not everybody's on social media.
So last night my son texted me about 10:30 p.m. I think it was pretty late, and said, "Oh, the dog's going crazy. He sees a possum. It's on our fence, and they're in a standoff. The possum is frozen, staring at the dog. The dog is barking at the possum." And then he sent this picture, and you've got this possum just hissing like
It's absolutely
At
terrifying.
at the dog. The dog is up there, and then between them is a sock. I think it was one of my sons. And if you
I don't
can,
need to hear about that.
That is
well, no,
Not
it's,
that
it's
sock.
actually our dog's fault. Our dog loves taking either single shoes or single socks and placing them around the yard.
you can't
or around
leave
the
anything
house.
out.
No, I mean, literally, anytime she gets excited, the first thing she runs to is to find a shoe or a sock so she can have it in her mouth. But it leads us to have random single socks and shoes all over the place, including in the backyard. And
And
apparently,
And missing.
Yes,
and like,
missing. Oh,
you'll
yeah.
go to get your shoe
I
and
have,
one shoe's
I have a
gone.
basket of lonely socks that are waiting for their match. It's got to be like 17 of them. I know they exist somewhere.
They're somewhere.
But I can't find them. But I don't want to throw them away because as soon as you do, you find the other one, and then you've got another lonely sock. But apparently, then the possum stole the sock that the dog had already stolen.
Oh my God.
And there was a standoff between possum and sock in our backyard late last night.
I'm not a hunter. I have shot. Have you guys ever shot an animal?
I've never
No.
shot a gun at all.
Ever. I went dove hunting one time and got a dove.
I went hunting one time. We
And
didn't
you
find
get
anything.
it. So we went dove hunting and I shot a dove and I was a wreck about it. And I couldn't do it. That said,
We went pheasant hunting, and I'm like, I don't
I
even know
can't
what a
shoot one of
pheasant
these.
is, and I don't think I want to eat pheasant.
but on the list of things that I would shoot if I had to, possums up there. They scare me to death. A rat? Would you shoot a rat? You know I hate
Small. I mean, hard
rats.
target. Yeah.
Shotgun.
Just do
I,
serious damage. to the
I
house.
just I don't like them. They freak me out, and that picture gave me it was nightmare fuel for me last night. It's the last thing I saw before I went to bed. You see the you saw the picture.
I saw it now.
Put
Yeah,
it on
we-
our Paulie will put it up on our feed if it's easy to do. I'm sorry if it's not. It's really good though. So all right, well we are ready. We are waiting. We will be on call for Jake Cronenworth, and then we'll set up Adam Jones as well. I want to get into obviously last night's game. It was, I mean, it had the playoff vibe. It really did. It was
Several of the games on this road trip have felt kind of playoffy, especially for April baseball games.
yeah, and based on the people that you're running up against, the teams you're running up against, yeah, we could very well see this in a few months. And I really loved that game last night. We'll talk about that. We've got a daily ditty.
There's the
Oh, look at Paulie. So good. Put it up on the YouTube feed. You can follow us on YouTube as well at Ben and Woods. Give us a like, smash that
Look at
subscribe button.
nasty
That is-
effer.
I mean, I would shoot that. And then I would feel bad about it. But let's make our list of things we would kill next on Ben and Woods. We'll be right back.
Premier
How does a what's his name? John
John beat you yesterday and
whipped
Take on
me.
Woods.
whipped me yesterday. 5'4". I mean,
70s movie music category.
I'm proud of that. 5'4". I don't really like to take L's, but if I do, I put in a good effort.
That's
It
the
happened.
one. That's the way to lose it. If
That's
you're going
baseball.
To, yeah.
That's baseball. That's Take on Woods. It's very similar. You win some, you lose some. You live to fight another day. That was Delight. Groove is in the heart. Now, Ben told me earlier, you actually thought that was a song from the 70s.
I did, and it kind of sounds like it, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's a song from the 90s.
It's got, that was a huge player in
Groove
the
is
90s.
such a 70s word.
Very, very groovy.
But good choice, John. And we'll see if we get back to our selections tomorrow or if Woods can come up with a victory at some point whenever we play Take on Woods. Again, schedule a little up in the air with our guests, Jake Cronenworth and Adam Jones, both confirmed, but the time's not really locked in as we lead to the Padres pregame show at 9:10 this morning with Sam Levitt.
Now, Benny is off on Friday for third vacation already.
It's not third vacation.
It is. I mean,
First of all, it would be second vacation. And second of all, jury duty is not a vacation. I'd actually rather be here.
Yeah, I would too. It's still a vacation, though.
This is not a vacation.
Who goes to Germany?
Who actually, I love, and on the record, nothing.
I have never just thrown it away.
Nothing makes me happy.
I postponed it twice. That's a crime. You can't just throw
I wouldn't do
jury
that.
duty away.
I wouldn't either, but I don't know what you're talking about. Doing my civic duty is one of my favorite things to do. I got, here's the problem with Ben going to jury duty, and we will talk Padres next. We only have like 5 minutes though here. So it's like, I don't want to start. It's like making out with your wife, the kids walk in. It's like, all right, what are we going to do here? Here's the problem with Ben at jury duty. We can handle a show without you. We've already got a whole day full of activities planned. Problem is, you're going to get picked, and because you're the definition of juror number one. Definition. If I'm an attorney,
That's
who
my
I
guy.
want. Wait, is he better? Like, if he gets picked by both.
I do.
Prosecution.
I've been picked twice and served on juries before.
Are you kidding me? I just say I was a criminal in my past. You don't want me here. I don't like authority.
The second time I was
I've done that.
I was the jury foreperson. And just to prove my fairness, first time found the defendant not guilty. Second time we found the defendant guilty.
Was
So
same
I've been
trial?
no, two different trials.
I was like, that's a weird one.
Different evidence, obviously, but I'm open-minded. I'm willing to listen to both sides and then come to a fair-minded conclusion at the end of the trial.
You need to tell them.
He's gonna be gone for like 3 weeks.
Can you 3 weeks? It could be 3. What if it's a huge case? What if it's
Sequestered.
like Nathan Fletcher or something? Like
oh god,
he's going to be gone for 6 months. He's in there writing a book. Paulie and I are just like, what do you want to do? Call Lee Lowenfish. See if he's around. See if he wants to come in. I'm terrified. I
The
thought
trial of the century.
I thought of it yesterday. I go, he's not going to lie to them and get out of it because that's not who he is. He's not going to manipulate the truth.
I'm under oath. You can't lie.
But you're
to
also-
the judge or the attorneys.
Dude, this sucks. Like,
I just hope that no one needs anybody, and I just sit there for a couple hours, and then they let everybody go. That's happened to me before as well.
well, so did you have? Is it like the federal one?
No, this one's Superior Court.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they have a new system.
They call in, yeah.
Where you call in.
I don't have that option. They say,
Okay.
we need you to report 7:45 a.m.
so you can
In
do like an
Vista.
hour with us.
Well,
He doesn't
can I
have
get to
to.
Vista and by 7:45 a.m.? Maybe.
No, I'm just don't worry about it. But yeah, you're done. People in the chat are like, yeah, Ben Jeter 11 says Ben will be the foreman. He will.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
he's if I look at him and I'm like, you do the what do they call the voir dire? Is that how they say it?
Voir
Voir dire?
dire.
I've never understood that word, the voir dire.
The jury selection,
selection?
process. Yeah.
But I'm looking at my team and I'm going, I want that guy right there. And then the other, no objection.
because they gotta both be on the same
Yeah,
page, right?
no objection.
Yeah, you have well, there's a certain number of challenges each attorney can make. Like, okay, this guy looks like he hates my client. We can just get rid of him. A peremptory challenge.
Yeah, isn't it weird how they
You
do
can
it?
also challenge for cause if like the juror like legitimately says something unfair minded and go, judge, he can't serve, and the judge can go, you're right, you're out. But if then you start running out of those and you don't really want to be, so they'll take in like 30 or 40 people to come up with the 12 person jury. Early, they get rid of a lot of people, but if you're in like that 17 to 25 range, the attorneys have used a bunch of their challenges, and then they're like, okay, we got to start accepting some people at this point, and then you might be in trouble.
I feel like baseball managers should have at least not as many challenges as attorneys, but I feel like you should get more than one. I'm down to do.
I've only got called in to the room one time with jury duty. Every other time it's been, we don't need you after like an hour. Like, you guys are all free to go. But one time I did get called into the room with like, I don't know, maybe 100 other people. And they had to whittle that group down to their jurors. And they go to literally every single person in the room. Who are you? Why are you here? You know what I mean? Trying to figure out if you're going to be good enough for the case. And I heard like 20 people in a row. It was a DUI case, I think. And they were like, well, my brother's, sister's, cousin's, friend's aunt was almost hit by a drunk driver. I just don't think I could do this case. Right. And I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what you guys are doing.
Yeah, you're trying to get out of it.
So I said, all right, I'm doing the same thing.
Marco says, Ben, claim financial hardship.
I'm kind of hoping that I get in and
11 angry men and Ben.
Maybe the bailiff or the judge or some of the attorneys are big fans of the show and don't want to miss, like, oh, we don't want Ben not to be on the show for a long time, so we'll just let him get back with Woods and Pauly so we can listen on our way into work in the mornings when we're on our way to the courthouse.
Please drop that. Guys, I really need to get back to our audience, all right? I really need to. I do morning radio. And
he's going to walk in. Hi, Ben, Channel 10.
Now, Tony says he'd bounce budget Ben from the jury pool. Yeah, if they knew his financial constraints that he has on other people's money, they probably would bounce you for that. Yeah?
I don't know. It seems irrelevant to the case at hand. I guess it depends whether it's a financial crime or some other charge that is being faced.
I look forward to. I mean, we need to start thinking about a temporary co-host because he will get
walking around the building somewhere.
Sammy's like, please God, no more work. I don't want to work with you dill holes in the morning. I've got enough to do. We'll be right back.
Like, I am a professional.
Yeah, let's get into this game because it was awesome. I mean, it was awful and awesome, and it had everything that you could dream of as a Padre fan, right? I mean, you came away with the win, but it was just a really good baseball game.
It was. Quickly, all guests on Ben & Woods appear on the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. Our Padres wrap up all of Jesse's calls. We'll have to pay off the Incorporator at some point as well, coming up here with Ben & Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Pete Alonso with the New York Mets, and if you're watching this, you just lost to the San Diego Padres.
Yes, you did, Pete. Thank you for reiterating that.
He made $50 after Cameo takes
I made $30.
their thing, and then you pay tax. He made $25. He's a current, active, good
Home run champion,
Major League Baseball player on a team that you just lost to in the playoffs, or like for $30. Hey, I'm Pete Alonso. You just got beat by the San Diego Padres. No, you did. Your team did.
You didn't think that was going to come back and get you.
Pete Alonso has made, just in career earnings on the baseball field, I don't know about endorsements, but he's made over $24 million.
That's recent, though. I remember him when he won the home run derby. They're like, this is more than his salary.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that. But, bro,
This Cameo was from last year.
yeah.
And last year he got paid $7.4 million up until that. So
$7.4 million and
he had about,
$25.
he had about-
$25.
he had about $10 million in the bank and was still doing cameos.
For $25 a pop.
Who can say no to that?
I
Not
mean,
Pete
it makes
Alonso.
sense for us to do it. If I would do a Cameo for $25, I'd do 10 a day. That'd be amazing. That's easy money. You don't, and especially that one. You can't do that
Yeah,
one.
it's not, hey,
Happy birthday,
hey,
Mike.
Steven, I heard you're a huge Mets fan, man. Thanks for the support. Happy
Appreciate
birthday,
it.
buddy.
Hey, let's effing go Mets, right? Like,
Hey, how's it going? I'm Pete Alonso with the New York Mets, and if you're watching this, you just lost to the San Diego
And
Padres.
do we know which Padres fan paid for that?
no,
I can't remember.
I'd like to pay them back.
Yeah.
I'd like to reimburse you because
GoFundMe to
it is-
reimburse whoever paid for that.
it's one of the greatest trolls of all time. How do we get Dave Roberts to do that next? What is he charging for cameos these days?
I'll give him a call. We'll see what we can do.
Just shoot him a text.
This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Big Box Storage. Visit bigbox.com. Need to rent a storage unit? Forget renting and loading a truck. Big Box Storage delivers the storage unit right to you. Loaded at your convenience, it'll be picked up and accessible in your storage unit. Need storage? Get the storage you need with free delivery and pickup at bigbox.com. All right, we'll get all of the Jesse Tony highlights from yesterday's 4-2 win over the New York Mets coming up after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Cadillac of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the premier auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Insperity. Well, guys, that northbound 805 has been a beating this morning. It all started with this accident before Murray Ridge. That's been cleared. In the backup of that, just before University, there is a collision in the center divide. And then after the crash, right before Mesa College, another accident. Looks like this one may already be in the clearing stage, all over the right shoulder. If you want to jump on that northbound 5, go ahead. But it looks like folks are thinking just the same thing. So that's getting pretty sluggish for you out of the South Bay as well. But still, better choice if we can make that happen. Fortunately, no other problem spots on our roads. A little patchy fog and drizzle we're dealing with this morning. So keep that in mind. Providing scalable HR services, access to better benefits, payroll, and HR technology for over 35 years. Insperity's mission is to help businesses succeed so communities prosper. Insperity, HR that makes a difference. Visit Insperity.com. And Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Miss any of yesterday's Padres game?
Did you catch a game last night?
Well, we've got you covered.
Thank you.
It's the Padres Wrap-Up with Ben and Woods.
Let's go! It's our house right here, baby.
Presented by Hamel Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamel Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamel Casino, fun above all else. On 97.3 The Fan.
That is the ball game, and that is a winner. Bases loaded, one out. Here's the 1-2 to Canna, and a late swing, little floater up the middle, going to be played on one hop by Kim. Steps on the bag for one, and the throw to first is in time. An inning-ending double play. That said, the bases loaded, nobody out. They do not score. 2 balls in, 2 strikes the count. Peterson kicks, and the pitch is hit over Escobar down the line and fair. Both runs going to come in to score with 2 outs. Manny hustling into second. Bam's throw is not in time. A 2-run double for Machado, and the Padres hop right in front here in the 5th inning. And the 1-2 to Lindor, swung on and missed. Strike 3, got him with a slider down. And the inning is over. Campusano at second, 2 outs. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's hit in the air deep down the left field line. Tommy Pham going back. He is looking up. This one gonna go way up and out here at Citi Field. Bogaerts again. His 4th home run of the season. A 2-run shot. And it will not be a 1-run game in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Padres now lead 4-1. Runners lead at 2nd and 3rd. Here's the payoff pitch and a swing and a miss. Alvarez strikes out on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and Hader gets it done. Padres take game 2 of this series by a final of 4-2. Kind of a wild 9th inning here in Queens, but the job is done.
At some point in time, the velo's 92, 93, and all of a sudden it was 96, 97. And after that, too, the velo came up. So we obviously got a little injection of some adrenaline there. But you get tested in the first inning here in a place like that. It really showed me a lot being able to get out of it.
Ryan Weathers with his first major league win since July 6th, 2021. I remember he struggled the second half of that season, only had 1 appearance last year, and in his second start this year gets the victory as the Padres beat the Mets 4-2, clinching a winning road trip to Atlanta and New York. That's big early season for the Padres, and now a chance to win the series later this morning in game 3. And on a getaway day, get back to San Diego feeling really good about yourself. A 5-2 road trip to Atlanta and New York. About as good as you can hope for at this point.
Say the line. My favorite line that you say.
My line.
Yeah.
What line do I say?
If I told you.
If I told you before the Padres started this road trip that they'd be coming home 5-2, you take that, right?
In a heartbeat, Benjamin. It's my favorite of all the Ben Higgins bits. It's my favorite.
That's an easy one, though.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of old adages in sports radio and sports talk, Ben. Hey, man, on the road early in the season, you split it. You're feeling okay. So we've already got the winning road trip. Would be incredible. Love that long ass flight home from New York with the boys having fun. After taking 2 or 3 from the Mets. Certainly, I got to tell you though, game's on last night. Weathers is doing his thing, and when he started walking guys, and I just went, oh my god, man, we are going to. This is going to
first inning was
spiral.
Walk, base hit,
walk, base hit, walk. And I was like, bro, this cannot happen. This just can't happen. I felt bad for him, right? And I go, Paulie said the same thing. I'm like,
walk, bunt, single, walk.
Bunt, single, walk.
No one hit the ball hard, but all of a sudden he's in a lot of trouble.
And Paulie,
I swear to God, I blinked and I looked up. I'm like, oh, it's bases loaded, nobody out. Okay, cool.
I thought, well, the night just opened up, because it's about to be 4-5-0 after the first. Kudos
Alonso
to him.
was up, right?
Yeah.
Bases loaded, nobody out. I go, here comes a double off the wall.
The changeup he threw to Alonso. It was like an Allen Iverson crossover ankle breaker. The changeup he threw to Alonso was like mind-blowingly great. And
there were a lot of really good changeups.
He did. They showed that graphic where he got the majority of his outs on his changeup. There was one batter they were talking about on the broadcast. He went 3 straight changeups to him. They were all balls out of the zone. Came back with a fastball, and then I think he finished that at bat on a changeup. I mean, the secondary stuff for Ryan Weathers looked pretty solid. The best I think I've seen it look. But yeah, I mean, that's a huge moment for that kid. Huge moment for we fans and that kid. It was dare I say, bulldog-esque of Ryan Weathers to get out of that inning. That's a tough feat.
After the game, did you stick around and see him talking with Scanlon on the field?
I did. Yes,
it was great, man. He was just like, I have worked so hard for this. Like, I don't want to leave anytime soon, and I'm going to keep working as hard as I can to stay here. Like, I'm here again, and I don't want to leave.
He also acknowledged that it was a really good team win because he only threw 5 of the innings and handed the ball over to the bullpen. With a 1-run lead, you're asking multiple different relievers to walk a tightrope to get all the way to the end of the game. And they did. They got Brent Honeywell with the perfect inning.
Mama.
You had Steven Wilson with that big
Luis Garcia
strikeout in the 8th. Luis Garcia got to the 7th.
Different role for him, I thought.
I don't know if that was – I was curious whether that was just the batter sequence that they felt matched up better for Garcia, or if there's been a bit of a switch and they feel like Steven Wilson's more of the 8th inning guy now. Maybe something to talk to Bob Melvin about when we see him next.
Boy, the fear of doing this job is I talked yesterday about Steven Wilson, and I said, he has the stuff to be that 8th inning guy. As you kind of, Drew Pomeranz is on a rehab assignment. If he comes back and is back to form, to have him, in 7th, 8th, I said, but Wilson has done enough.
Pomeranz, vintage Pomeranz back, and eventually, hopefully, Suarez back. You're 7, 8, 9. You're done. It's over.
But I said Wilson has pitched well enough for me to earn that kind of hold 8th inning. And man, it looked dicey for him. He managed to wiggle his way out of it. Honeywell looks great, and I'm so cautiously a fan of his because I know he's had the arm troubles. I don't know how you throw that screwball and don't hurt your arm. I don't. Every time they show it,
Mudd was talking about it as well.
Bro. And then they did a slow-mo of it last night. I mean, it
doesn't make sense.
In my mind, I mean, it's a beautiful pitch. It's nasty. But in my mind, I'm like, bro, if I had a bunch of arm troubles, I think that might be the last pitch I throw. But who knows? He looked great. And I thought it was, listen, Bob pushed the right buttons last night. Hader coming in there was dicey. It happens with closers. It happens with the best closers in the world. The only thing that matters, they got the job done. That's the only thing that matters. Doesn't matter the walks. Doesn't matter Hader was missing up in the zone.
Trevor Hoffman had a lot of 1, 2, 3, 9th innings. He also had a lot where he put a couple of guys on and had to get a strikeout on the changeup to get out of the jam.
Yesterday, though, with Hader, every one of his misses were in the same spot. He was missing up, which at least gave me a little bit of peace, knowing it's like, hey, that should be an easy adjustment for him. He wasn't wild. He wasn't going crazy. It was just everything he missed. It was either a strike or it was a ball up.
Well, that young catcher of theirs is going to be a good player. He's going to be a really good Alvarez, the 21-year-old that Hader got to end. He's going to be a really good player. They're really high on him in New York. That being said, that was a perfect example of, all right, Rook, you've shown me you're going to fish at it. I think he was kind of going up in the zone on purpose, but it was great, man. It was a great win. You felt like you had every chance to lose that game as well, and you managed to find a way to win it.
Speaking of young catchers, while it was Manny and Xander Bogaerts who drove in all the runs, I thought the offensive standout performance of the game belonged to Luis Campusano with his first 3-hit game of his career. And while I don't think that's going to, in the short term, change Bob Melvin's catching assignments, I think Austin Nola is still going to be out there probably the majority of the time. Luis Campusano is going to be out there a couple of times a week. At least the narrative among fans, and we'd already seen it before yesterday, is only going to ramp up a little bit more, calling for some more playing time for Luis Campusano going forward, especially if Austin Nola continues to struggle at the plate, because I believe the Padres are still undefeated when Luis Campusano starts in games. Now, there's a lot of factors that go into that. It's not simply Luis Campusano's play that has made them 4-0, but you certainly can't feel uncomfortable putting him back there, knowing that the team has had some success. And now, if he's hitting a little bit, sooner rather than later, you might start to see a flip in terms of playing time for the Padres catching corps.
And we're not in the rooms. We don't know, we don't know we don't know the real reason sometimes as to why a guy, it could come from Yu Darvish. It could come from Blake Snell. That being said, man, this is a championship caliber team. And the goal this year for the San Diego Padres is not just to play well and make the playoffs. The goal of this team, I think to a man, is to win a World Series. And in order to do that, you're going to have to make tough decisions sometimes. And I saw a little bit of the back and forth online about, Preller wants him in the lineup because he gave away a lot for him and it's bitten him in the ass. I can promise you this. I know AJ fairly well, as well as you know AJ Preller without knowing. Morning, AJ. He doesn't care about that. He's not looking to see, he's not going to put Nola in the lineup to save face. He doesn't care. We all agree he's not going to.
By the way, if Luis Campusano does well, reflects well on AJ.
100%. That's his guy as well. Yeah. So you got the conspiracy theories on that bit. It's not. We don't necessarily know all of the reasons why you would see Austin Nola more than Campusano, especially if Campusano is hitting. But I liked what Bob had to say about the work that Campy's put in.
It said that some of the decisions on how much Campusano would play would be based on his performance at the plate. What might he?
Well, not just on the plate, behind the plate. So I could have run for him at second base, to try to get another run that inning. But he's been doing a nice job for us behind the plate too. Every game he started at this point, we've won. So, and those games, getting through games like that are going to be big for him. I've been impressed.
That's awesome. I mean, and again, it backs up what we heard from Riley Westman at fantasy camp. It backs up everything we heard at spring training. The kid has been working his tail off, and the point of emphasis and the point of pride that he's taken in getting a relationship, maintaining a relationship, learning all the pitchers and what they have. Bob also said in that interview, Ben, he said, look, he really didn't have a problem catching the starters. Where he ran into a little trouble last year was with the bullpen guys. And he now has done so much work and has put in so much effort to learn the plan of Steven Wilson and Tim Hill and all of the guys in the pen. It's going to pay off for him. If he just keeps doing what he's doing, guys, I think you're going to see a little bit of a flip-flop. And listen, I don't want to hurt. I want my starting pitchers as comfortable as they can be. That being said, man, when you're trying to win a World Series, you got to do what you got to do. And if Campy continues to hit, I think he'll be the starting catcher.
Ultimately, you're going to need both guys, though.
You will. Yeah,
I mean,
nobody does it with one.
Today, I haven't seen a lineup yet. Probably
it's Nola. It'll be Nola.
But it'll be Nola on a day game after a night game.
After a night game.
So you're going to need both guys at some point to perform for you this season. But instead of a 70-30 split, 75-25 split, maybe it gets to be more 60-40. Maybe it gets more 50-50 at some point between the two catchers. We'll see how it works out going forward.
Somebody made the point, and there's been those guys in baseball. You remember Clayton Kershaw really liked throwing to A.J. Ellis. Then that was his guy. When they
Greg Maddux always had Henry Blanco right behind the plate.
I would love to see his career numbers. I don't think he was a big
Darvish, Victor
Caratini, and you. I mean, it was like a bit of an adjustment for you to get ready. But I'll say this. Austin Nola's done a hell of a job catching you, Darvish, over the last couple of seasons without Caratini here. So guys can adjust. You do want your pitchers as comfortable as possible, but it's also Campy's job, and it sounds like he's doing a great job of getting more of a comfort level with those guys. And he's done a really, really nice job. I want to, like everybody, I want him to continue to do that.
First hour in the books. We've got a lot still to get to. I want to talk about what happened in the ninth inning with Buck Showalter. That's now 2 out of 3 games going back to the playoff finale last year in the wild card round that Buck Showalter has come out and interrupted a Padres game that was going well, whether it's gamesmanship, whatever's going on with Buck Showalter. It's getting a little bit weird, a little bit annoying, honestly. And I'm not a Buck hater at all.
No, I like
Buck. But
I like Buck. He's making it difficult.
Getting a little bit out of hand. We'll talk about that. We could have Jake Cronenworth joining us when we come back.
Yep.
Might be at 7:30, might be at 7:45. It's kind of up to Jake's schedule when he gets to the ballpark at Citi Field and going through his pregame routines when he's got a few minutes for us. So you kind of want to just keep listening so you don't miss it. I know that works out well for us, that you're just kind of along for the ride this morning.
You guys are screwed. You got to just listen to Ben and Woods.
Just forced to listen to more Ben and Woods this morning. We'll come back. Maybe we'll play some Take on Woods. Maybe we'll have Adam Jones on. I really don't know. It's a surprise grab bag sort of Wednesday morning on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Got a little bonus 30 seconds here before the top of the hour, back early.
Adam trying to squeeze it all in because we're getting off an hour early. So he's trying to squeeze it all
Allows
in.
me
We
to,
started at 5:59 and 30 seconds as well.
That's exactly right.
Everything's off by 30 seconds. Let's 30 seconds add up.
allows me a little time to give a shout out to a couple of tier ones. So the power of
God,
suggestion
here we
really
go.
does work.
Here we go.
I mean, that's the idea of radio. You know, we'll talk about something and get you to go try it yourself. Well, yesterday, what were we talking about? Chicken parm sandwiches with Jake from Cespedes Family Barbecue.
Yes.
Made me want a chicken parm sandwich. So I went last night to North Park. I knew this place. I hadn't been there, but I wanted to try it, called Pete's Seafood and Sandwich. Went in, and as soon as I got there, I was greeted by the guy at the register, Chris, and he was big tier one, big fan. He says, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're here." And he said, huge pot. He's wearing a Padres hat. They had just finished watching the game. Pete, apparently the owner, New Englander, transplant, Red Sox guy. He's got a big Poppy jersey up there. There's some Red Sox gear. But Chris is the big Padres fan. So he's got a Tony Gwynn jersey. He's got this bell he rings when the Padres win. It's a tradition. I said, that's really, really cool.
Hey, Chris, stop ringing the bell. For Christ's sakes.
And
Stop it.
I said, I don't know if you were listening this morning, but we were talking about chicken parm sandwiches, and I heard you got a good one. So I ordered it. It was fantastic. Then I'm there, and then one of the guys eating, Manny, tier one, it goes nuts, gets a selfie with me and says, listens all the time, every morning. So I said, I'll give you a shout out in the morning, Manny. Thank you so much for listening. Appreciate that. Sandwich was delicious.
Looked amazing.
It really, well, that was a picture of the sandwich that they had up on the wall. I'm not a great food photographer, so I figured my messy half-eaten sandwich would probably not represent the establishment that well. So
You are such a
I took
gem.
I took a picture of the picture on the wall of a chicken parm sandwich.
You are such a gem, dude. I saw the picture and I was like, "Oh, God dang, man, that looks amazing." And somebody goes, "Is that a picture of a picture?"
It is.
You're like, "Yeah."
But that is pretty much what it looked like when I ate it as well.
For the a lighter option on a Tuesday night.
Not that light. Honestly, could have fed 3 people. Giant sandwich.
Looks amazing.
Now, apparently, I have to keep all my receipts, though, because Woodsy is going to accuse me of.
Yeah, you can't tell the guys, hey, I'll give you a shout out tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock.
You give
for
my
a
receipt.
free
I
sandwich.
posted my online receipt for Woods.
Anybody
just to
can,
show.
anybody can make
Doctor.
an online receipt.
Paulie could. I don't know that I could.
Hey, I've heard. I'm Ben Higgins, by the way, from Channel 10 and Ben Woods.
Ben Woods.
Ben Woods, and
I didn't say it.
I've heard great things about this place. You want to do a little exchange, Phil? Give you a shout out tomorrow. If you guys knew, not you guys do know, but if you guys out there knew how many people in our industry.
Your favorite person in local media loves to
You're
do
not
that.
supposed to do that. But
It's literally illegal.
It
You can,
is.
I am so terrified of it. Terrified of that scene. Like, I bought my dumbass buys concert tickets. We have 94.9 next door. We have Odyssey. Like, I'm like, I'll just buy it. I don't want to have to, you know, I don't want to owe anybody anything. It makes me terrified. But oh man, boy, is it rampant in this town. And you know it when you see it. You absolutely know it when you see it. Hey,
you think you know it.
well, I
but
know it. It jumps off the page at me. Hannah and I looking for a night out. I don't know.
Hey, hashtag San Diego, looking for some hashtag restaurant recommendations.
Also some, I don't know, hashtag free parking in the area or anybody to, this is my favorite. Guys lived here 30 years. Taking the missus down to eat some dinner. Still looking for a restaurant in Little Italy. Anybody know of a good place to park? Just, you can find a parking space or a parking lot or a garage. 3 options for you.
Why are you driving down to Little Italy without knowing where you're going to go?
You know why? Oh, blank. We'd love to have you. Come on in. I mean, good God.
This way, sir.
Bunch of freeloaders. But I do appreciate you posting that receipt. It's important we keep things above board around here.
I agree with that. I have no problem with that. We need a contestant for Take on Wood. So we're still thinking Jake. Sometime later this hour from Citi Field, we'll give you an update on a specific time as soon as we know it.
We don't know it.
We don't really know anything at this point. So let's plan to play Take on Woods here in about 5 minutes. Call in now if you want to be our contestant. Maybe we'll have back-to-back winners. I had one yesterday, 833-288 0973 833 0973. We'll play our musical trivia contest in just a couple of minutes. So what did you think of Buck Showalter's routine in the ninth inning? So Josh Hader gets a strikeout on a 3-2 check swing pitch. Clearly, I forget who was the batter. Mark Canha was the batter. Doesn't check his swing. Goes clearly
all the way around.
The ball then I thought fairly obviously, even in live viewing on television, hit him, bounced away from Luis Campusano.
I didn't know it live. I thought it clanked off
that's what I
glove.
saw, but
I heard something. I didn't know if it was the bat.
The bat.
I
thought
it was
the bat, elbow,
the knob of the bat.
But the runner goes down to second base.
Yep.
And then they spend an inordinate amount of time. I mean,
like 7 minutes.
7 minutes going out there discussing it. Buck Showalter comes out. Then the umpires huddle up. Then they go to the review, studio somewhere else in New York, wherever they're doing.
Is it a challenge or is it not a challenge? Like
I guess they challenged something. They said they announced that the Mets have challenged. The ruling of not a hit batter.
New York has challenged.
Well, that's the Mets. Isn't it?
Sorry.
Yeah.
But first it was the umpires huddled and conferred, right? And then they say New York has. Maybe it is. I thought they were saying New York because that's where that's who does go to New York. He's going to be in the Mets, obviously, moron. No. What's with the big conference first? What's with the big conference first before? Hey, Mets are challenging the play on the field.
Well, I mean, ultimately the umpires had it right from the very beginning.
Yeah,
dead ball out at home plate on the strikeout.
Bro, Mudd was irate.
Yeah,
Mudd was like, if they cannot
it's not
screw
close.
this one up.
It missed the bat by 6 inches. And then Canha, so Italian Paul's a Met fan, and he's like, no, they're challenging whether Pete Alonso gets to go to second base. And I said, okay, what's Canha barking about? Canha knows he got hit by the pitch, but he also knows he swung. Like,
a little truth serum with Mark Canha could have sped that thing up by 7 minutes.
But Buck doesn't care.
Yes, I swung. Yes, it hit me in the arm.
So, like, was Canha arguing that it hit his bat so that he could keep his at bat going?
No, because it would
have been a foul ball.
Right. It wasn't
caught.
Ball. Yeah.
So it'd be
he was
full
saying,
count still.
I think Canha was saying, oh, no, I fouled it off. And they're like,
but
bro, you missed it by 6
didn't.
inches. Yeah. That's not, like, with all the reviews now,
I guess you can
would
hope
be
that
there's
some weird angle that looks like it made it hit the bat that he's hoping. But
I'd be very reticent to try to sell something. Like, because you can see it.
Ultimately, it left Josh Hader standing out there already, struggling with his command, standing out there for 7 minutes, waiting to resume his ninth inning, which ended up going over 30 pitches. I mean, it was kind of a brutal slog of a ninth inning for Josh Hader. I've got to imagine he's down today after an outing like that. He pitches back to back quite often, but 30 plus pitches, you think that he might not be able to go again, in a couple of hours on another start. So
it's not been his forte either, the back to back. So I think he's down today for sure.
Oh yeah.
But ultimately he did get the job done. But this is now the second time in 3 games, going back to the Joe Musgrove game 3 of the wild card series, that Buck Showalter has come out and made a big deal, seemingly trying to interrupt the momentum of the Padres, whatever it is.
I guess that's his job. I asked you this morning, do you wish...
I thought the ear thing was much, much, much more egregious.
Oh, I thought that was trash.
That was awful. You were getting your ass kicked.
Yep.
And you had to resort to that.
Yep.
It was annoying last night.
It was annoying.
But I wasn't like, oh, here we go again.
God, if
Buck Showalter.
If we had lost that game, though, oh my God.
There was nobody on or something, like I figured it had something to do with whether or not Alonso would stay at second base.
Yeah. That's exactly. I mean, that's essentially what it was.
Ninth inning, 2-run game, like.
But
okay,
I thought, look, I mean, there's a part of me that goes, he's not doing anything wrong or illegal. It's a little bit Bush. It's just the length of it. They need to figure out how to. They love to speed baseball up so much. Right? What's with the up review taking 7 minutes? That review took longer than half innings. Now with the pitch clock, seriously, it really did, and I really think it messed with Hader. So
and still, the entire game was less than 3 hours. I think.
It's crazy.
They are moving along. But
moving.
Ultimately, the Padres could be again a little thin in the bullpen for today's game, and with Blake Snell on the mound, that is obviously a concern. I mean, counting on Blake Snell to try to get 6 or 7 innings. I mean, I only need 4 2/3 out of him to win our over/under bet of 9.5 innings between Weathers and Snell.
Still dicey.
I thought when Weathers was struggling in the first, is he even going to get it out? I'm going to need Blake Snell to go 10.
I text his man. I go, they're going to need to go to extras, and he needs a CG. So have fun. You're going to be $10.
I like that.
4 2/3
should be doable.
That's like right on the line.
It's still dicey,
I don't
bro.
know. Has he gotten to 4 2/3 yet? He's done what? 3 2/3, 4 1/3.
4 1/3, I think.
I don't know if he's gotten there yet. They need him to get probably 6 at least today.
So you got to imagine Honeywell's available again. He threw a few pitches. Wilson,
Chris Madden-Hill will be available.
It's not your A team.
No,
it's not your A team. Certainly.
And Garcia didn't have the longest of innings. He might be able to come back. I don't know about Wilson. He had a longer inning, stressful inning.
What the hell am I missing? Boy, you know who I miss a little bit? Pierce Johnson. He's pitching great for Colorado. We never should let Pierce Johnson walk, man. He was so solid.
If you had Suarez and Pomeranz,
you're
you
not
wouldn't have a spot for him, but
count on Palm, though, man. But it's I do miss him.
All right, it's 7:10 in the morning. Let's get to it. A little take on Woods. All right, we got Connor on the line as our contestant this morning. Good morning, Connor.
What's up, Ben?
All right, John was a winner yesterday, so follow in his footsteps and qualify for our grand prize drawing. Get away to the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. 2-night stay and tickets to Barry Manilow at the International Showroom. Tickets available at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. All right, here are your categories to choose from. We've got Feeling Needy still sitting there. 5 songs with need in the title. The mystery category, or our new category today, headliners. That's 5 bands or artists, all with head somewhere in their name. Feeling Needy, mystery category, or headliners. Connor, what's it going to be?
Let's do the mystery category.
The mystery category. I always enjoy this one. So what you do is identify the 2-second song. It unlocks the theme for the other 4 song titles, but that's all you get on this one. You'll have 60 seconds. Don't know an answer, you can pass. We'll go back to it if there's time left on the clock. When you hear the 2-second song, you need to give me the title and the artist to score that point. Connor, you ready to play?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Woods is off in his studio where he can't hear anything. 60 seconds on the clock. Your time in the mystery category begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Connor. Let's take on Woods.
Sailing, Christopher Cross.
Correct, which 1977 Styx hit mixes a light piano beginning with a heavy guitar second half with lyrics about being free to face the life that's ahead of me.
Renegade by Styx?
Incorrect. It's Where Van Morrison Sailed in the title of a 1970 hit.
Into the Mystery.
Correct. Sung by Blondie Chaplin and not the usual vocal leads for the band. Which hit did Brian Wilson say is the only Beach Boys song he really doesn't like?
Pass.
Subtitled Sail Away, which 1988 song was the biggest hit for Irish new wave artist Enya?
Pass.
Sung by Blondie Chaplin, not the usual vocal leads for the band. Which hit did Brian Wilson say is the only Beach Boys song he really doesn't like?
Is it?
Think of a theme.
Sail on Sailor?
Yes,
Oh.
subtitled Sail Away. Very good.
Well
good
done.
pickup there at the end.
Well done.
Obviously, Sailing by Christopher Cross was
I
the
bet he would
theme.
like another shot at that.
Yeah, the
Styx
Styx
answer.
one, obviously not Renegade. It was Come Sail Away was the Styx song. And then Orinoco Flow is Sail Away, Sail Away, Sail Away. So you did get 3 points, though. You got into the Mystic. Your score is locked in. Let's put you on hold. Stay there, Connor, and we'll bring Woods in for his half of the game. All right, Connor's score is locked in. Woodsy's back. Let's reset our song, reset our 60 seconds. Woodsy, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck.
Let's do it.
Let's take on Connor.
Oh, Sailing, Christopher Cross.
Correct. Which 1977 Styx hit mixes a light piano beginning
Come
with
Sail Away.
Correct. It's Where Van Morrison Sailed in the title of a 1970.
Into the Mystic?
Correct. Sung by Blondie Chaplin and not the usual vocal leads for the band. Which hit did Brian Wilson say is the only Beach Boys song he really doesn't like?
Sail on Sailor?
Correct. Subtitled Sail Away, which 1988 song was the biggest hit for Irish new wave artist Enya. Got some time here. Sing it out in your mind.
I don't know.
Oh, you know that song.
Sail
Away is the subtitle.
Sail to these nuts.
No, you don't know that one.
Don't know that
But 4-3 score. You pull out the win today. No 2-game losing streak for Woods.
It's very underwhelming.
You don't know that one, though?
No, what is it?
Sail away, sail away. It's Orinoco Flow. You don't know Enya. Not a new wave person over there. That's all right. 4 is a good score. Sail on Sailor was a good pickup. Connor got that one at the end, too. Very tough one. Yeah.
Man.
I was
Holy
surprised
cow.
when I read that. Like, Brian Wilson, like, I love every Beach Boys song except this one. I hate this song.
That's so weird.
I think it's a really good song.
I think there's
Jealous?
way worse songs that they have. Like, I love the Beach Boys and I love Brian Wilson, but that song rules.
I agree.
Has he ever heard his own album Smile? Has he ever heard that one? Because that was a tough listen.
Doesn't dislike his own song.
Right. Yeah.
Just,
I'm a genius. So good. All right. Back in the win column. Ooh, that felt good.
You remember this song, right?
see.
90s, late 80s, maybe.
Have you not heard this?
Why is it so quiet?
It's new wave. It's, it's
Slow.
soft. It's low.
I've never heard this in my life. What are you guys even talking about?
Let's tell you.
What? Weren't you young listening to this?
Junior high, I think.
What?
There's a girl I liked who was into it, so I tried to listen to it.
Have you heard the new Enya?
Didn't really help me.
It's amazing. No, I love it too. I do. I love it. This no 7th grader should be listening to this. None. There's no reason. There's no reason.
That's when it came out. I can't help it. All right, we'll get to Don't Do This coming up next.
That's fantastic, dude. Fantastic.
Phillies had a promotion that went a little wrong last night.
It's so good and it's so Philly.
Well, it is. We'll get to that coming up next. Ben
Wieners
Woods,
everywhere.
after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
Deposit required for loan tool.
Don't do this.
It's time for Don't Do This.
What were you thinking?
3 stories from the world of sports that make us all shake our heads.
Why? How many times do I have to tell you?
I'm sorry, I fudged up, guys.
You idiot. You moron.
Dumbass.
The apple sometimes does fall from the tree.
Don't Do This
Do not tweet that.
with Ben and Woods
I like a Nickelback song or two.
on 97.3 The Fan.
Get a head start to your day with 97.3 The Fan. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app even before hitting the road in the morning. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that have San Diego talking. To get started, download the Odyssey app, search for 97.3 The Fan. I like this perspective here, though, in our first Don't Do This story. The Don't Do This, I think, goes to the fan. You remember last month, Bradley Beal of the Washington Wizards, confrontation with a belligerent fan, kind of took a swipe, knocked his hat off. He's been the subject of a police investigation, hasn't been charged with anything, but Beal spoke for the first time about some of the details of the incident. And he said the fan came up to him and said he had a wager on the game, which the Wizards lost to the Orlando Magic. You bleeped me out of $1,300. The fan screamed, "You bleep." And Bradley Beal kind of lost his cool. And that's when the hat knocking off incident happened. Now, Beal talking about it yesterday, I like this part. He said, I go to casinos. I gamble. I understand that. But I also understand it's probably a 99% chance I'm going to lose. I'm not sitting here about to get angry at the dealer or angry at everybody else. People, he says, hey, no one wants to lose money. And if you keep it about sports, I'm all for it. But when people start getting personal, talking about your family, talking about your character, your integrity toward the game, I think all of that, we can save it. We can really keep those comments to ourselves.
You see it all the time in football with the fantasy bit. You crushed my fantasy team. Like they couldn't care less. Like, nor should they. They should not give one rat's ass about your gambling
or what the point spread of the game was, or individual stats. All the only thing they should be concerned about is helping their team win the game by at least 1 point in the end.
All right, so let's go out to Philly, where those Johns are some weird Johns.
Yo, call me when you get your phone.
Yeah, you will call me when you get your phone.
That phone thrown onto the field, right?
Well, that phone was thrown onto the field. Yes, that was from Don't Do This last year. It's a good idea in these trying economic times to offer your fans, hey, come on out to the ballpark. We're going to do dollar hot dogs for you. Okay. I mean, sold, right? Like I'm down for a hot dog that only costs $1. I love hot dogs. I'm down for that, right? You like hot dogs?
How many? Quickly.
The most?
Dollar hot dogs
I could do 2.
At the ballpark.
At the most, 2.
And talking like comfort-wise or like
no, I mean, you're going, they're
I'm not Joey Chestnut.
No, I just mean
the 3 of us,
how many do you end up eating?
2
dollar dogs.
2. Maybe 3.
I think I get to 3.
You could get 3 down.
I could get 3 if they're $1 and they're not huge. I mean, I assume they're
small. Yeah.
The smaller kind of, 2-3 bite hot dogs.
It's the only way I can
do it. I think I could do 3.
I went to Petco. The last one I went to Petco as an aside. They had I bought a Friar Frank, and they had the regular bun, but the wiener was hanging over the side, like 3 inches of wiener on either side of the bun. And I almost threw up. It has to be tucked.
You don't want extra.
I do
wiener.
not want any extra wiener. I don't need it, frankly. But I certainly. Can you eat just a bite of just the wiener? I have to have bun with my bite. It had
You can push it into it, but then you have even more out on the
other side.
Yeah.
You have 6 inches on the other side hanging off. What are you gonna snap it off and throw it in the garbage? Yes. I tried to do the extra bite of the wiener.
I can do. If it's a decent sausage, I certainly can eat it without bun.
I was retching. So anyway, they did the dollar hot dogs. Well, the Phillies, they have not gotten off to the best start. And they spent a lot of money. They spent a lot of money in the offseason, got Trey Turner, as you know. They were getting beaten by our beloved second favorite team, the Miami Marlins. Miami Marlins? Yeah, Miami Marlins. And they took out their anger, as Philly fans will do. And wieners were flying everywhere. The video, it's so
They're
visual.
only $1. It doesn't feel like you're
Like,
wasting as
hey!
much. If it's a
Just-
$9 hot dog, you might not throw that thing, but $1 hot dog,
It was
tossing
like it was a wiener parade.
not just the little excess at the end either. The whole thing.
wiener flying around. Citizens Bank is that what they call it? Everywhere. People were like under attack, like it was raining wieners.
Now the problem is, Citizens, they're a popular team. It was crowded. The
was
lines were insane for $1 hot dogs. Like if they did it at
They
Petco
were
Park,
they were
I'd love to see it at
150
Petco
deep.
Park. Can you imagine the lines for $1 hot dogs at Petco Park right now?
Massive.
They'd be around the entire
They
stadium.
would. Oh, it's almost like $1. You know how when you go to a game, they give you your prize. They almost have to hand it to you at the front door. The
Here it
giant
is.
box. Here's your $1 wiener. It's actually going to be on us. Just take it because we don't want you to throw it. It was insanity. You got to find the video online of all the wieners flying around.
Finally, do this. Same game, actually. Luis Arias of the Miami Marlins. Congratulations.
Mega doo-doo.
Now, you remember Joe Musgrove threw the no-hitter. Padres became the last team in baseball to have a no-hitter.
Yep.
When they got their cycle, though, there was still one team left that hadn't ever hit for a cycle. And it was the Miami Marlins until Luis Arias did it yesterday against the Phillies, becoming the final team in baseball to have at least one player to have hit for a cycle. And Luis Arias did it for the Miami Marlins.
The funny part about that is he's a singles hitter. I mean, he's a good hitter, a really, really good hitter.
Batting champion from the American League.
But he got the homer, the triple, and the double out of the way first. He only needed a single to get the cycle. He did it. I watched some of the post game with Skip last night talking about his team and really what Luis has brought. What a nice pickup for them. And I think the Pablo Lopez, I do believe, was the gentleman that was traded for Luis. He went out and shoved last night for the Twins. So that's one of those rare kind of works out for both sides.
I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to remember the details. Tony Gwynn never hit for the cycle, but I think there was a game in which he had the double, triple, and the homer, and the Padres were so far ahead, and I forget who was the manager at the time, didn't realize it, and took him out to rest him. It's like all Tony Gwynn needed was a single for a cycle.
I feel like, other than like a World Series ring, I feel like Tony Gwynn should have had more than one. That would be one. If I was him, I'd be like, it's one thing I didn't do. That would be the coolest. That'd be one of the coolest things to do in sports. Never have.
Padres to hit for the cycle. There have been 3.
Will Myers,
now.
Matt Kemp,
and
Will Myers, Matt Kemp, and
our guest coming up
Jake
later this-
Cronenworth.
hopefully later
How did
this
I
hour or
forget
next
that?
hour. Jake Cronenworth did it.
Atlanta,
Washington Nationals, I want to say.
Nationals?
Right after the All-Star break.
God, that's cool.
Yeah.
Really, really
And that
cool.
is Don't and Do This for a Wednesday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Still on standby mode for Jake, which means we'll have Adam Jones with his regular Wednesday segment. So he was ranking ballpark foods across the country. That's always interesting to me. Maybe he's got a favorite hot dog somewhere as well, dollar or not. Talk to AJ coming up when we return on Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This show is flying by. We're actually halfway done already
It's
with Ben
incredible.
Woods this morning, leading into Padres pregame road trip finale this morning. Sammy Levitt will be on 9:10 with our pregame show. First pitch 10:10. Blake Snell against Tyler McGill. We got Adam Jones standing by. We're going to get to AJ right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Cadillac of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Tannick.
Traffic is sponsored by the San Diego County Sheriff's Department. Seeing some big improvements on northbound side of the 805. They cleared a crash near University, one near Murray Ridge, one near Mesa College. All you're really seeing now is some slow traffic from Plaza Boulevard on up toward Market Street. A lot of folks were jumping over to northbound 5 as an alternate to all that mess on the other side. Yeah, you've got slowing on North 5 from J Street on up toward Plaza Boulevard. After that, looks good all the way toward the Golden Triangle. Just a reminder, guys, eastbound lanes of the 78 remain blocked between El Camino Real and College till at least April 26th for that pothole repair. You know, we'll keep you informed on that. The San Diego County Sheriff's Department's working hard to keep San Diego safe. Is now hiring. The Sheriff's Department offers rewarding careers with growth and has an opportunity for anyone with integrity that wants to make a difference. Go to joinsdsheriff.net to learn more. That's joinsdsheriff.net. And Kelly Dack with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, let's go.
God.
We only do it every time.
I know, but you paused, and then I thought I wasn't going to get the music for a second. I thought, I better jump in. It's all right. We got Adam Jones with us here on our premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. He's our Wednesday regular throughout the baseball season. We appreciate it very much. Now, last week he was in Mauritius.
Yes.
In the Indian Ocean. Where in the world is Adam Jones this morning or this afternoon or tonight or wherever it is?
Tomorrow, maybe.
Wherever you are.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, how we doing? I'm back in Barcelona.
Back home.
Back
on
in
a normal schedule.
In
Back
Barcelona.
home.
I saw that you were on your podcast ranking your favorite ballpark foods around the country, which I always find fascinating. But I never got the sense that players ate a lot of the ballpark foods.
How did this work?
When did you get to try so many ballpark foods?
Well, I mean, you just got to ask the clubbies. And I'm telling you, a lot of guys have eaten more ballpark food than you can realize.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the thing is, the only reason why I didn't rank San Diego in any of them is because they're all restaurants that I know.
Yeah.
They're not like, I mean, their ballpark food is like amazing restaurants rather than just, specialty, just absolute heart attacks that some of these places just have. Like Texas with these 2-foot-long hot dogs. Like, come on. I'm not voting for that.
It's like rope. It's like a
Yeah.
piece of rope and a bud. AJ, I wanted to ask you because we have the guys from a podcast called Cespedes Family Barbecue on. They went out to lunch with Brent Honeywell the other day in New York City, and he got a pregame sandwich of sausage and peppers, and it really I guess there comes a point in the big leagues where you no longer get nervous for games to where because if it was me, I couldn't even eat before fantasy camp games. I get nervous to play. What did you used to eat pregame? You would never eat a sausage and onion sandwich before a game, would you?
No. I don't want to be stereotypical, but no, I honestly, I would have a bowl of watermelon every day. The chef would make me a bowl of watermelon, and it was good. It hydrates me.
It wasn't
good. It wasn't weight bearing. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I'm eating a sandwich or something like that. I would do that after batting practice. I would eat something a little more heavier, but right before the game, just some watermelon.
Just
Very
to
simple.
get you going, keep you hydrated. Yeah,
Just to get me going. Yep.
Did you get nervous when you played? Or was there ever a time when you're like, man, I'm not? I mean, you get excited, right? But did you ever get nervous before playing games?
I don't think I ever got nervous, but I always got excited. I always got the jitters. I always got the just wet palms, just because it's like, hey man, it's go time. It's competition. You know what I mean? I think if players say they don't, then they're lying. Obviously you got guys that on long-term deals to where they just today doesn't really matter in a sense, because obviously it's a long term, but every day it was like an excitement. Like, hey man, I'm in the big leagues. Like, what? You're not gonna be excited about this? Even though obviously you keep yourself even killed. I'm saying inside, it's a hamster on a treadmill.
I can't remember if Woods asked you this before, but Jake Cronenworth's about to join us. In fact, it might happen in a couple of minutes, so just kind of be prepared. Jake might jump in here from Citi Field. But he just signed his first big contract.
Yeah.
And Woods was going to ask him, do you splurge on something? You know, the signing bonus comes in. When you signed your first big deal, was there a first splurge, a first thing that you bought?
No, not really at the time, because I was already in my through arbitration a couple times. You know, I already made a little bit of money, so I was like, you know, this is on top of it. But it took me a while. I guess the first thing was I finally bought my first house in Baltimore. You know, once I signed a 6-year deal, I just created roots. I was like, I'm gonna be here for 6 years, so with a no trade, I'm gonna buy a place and store my stuff. And off season, I'm gonna head back to California. But it was I think that was the first big purchase, obviously. But in terms of individual, you know, just like a personal thing, I bought a Raptor.
Oh, nice.
A 2000, and I still have it to this day. It's a nasty Raptor too.
Because and I'm sure you
Is that a kind of car?
It's a truck.
A truck. Okay.
Man.
Truck, yeah.
Yeah. So I got to imagine, like, now you signed, and I'm sure you got a signing bonus. You had a little bit of money, but when you're in the minors and you're making $300 a month or whatever, and then you get that first 30 grand or something hits your account for one paycheck, you're like,
oh yeah,
all right, this is different. This feels different to me.
So the first thing I bought when I was in the big leagues, I can remember this. I was in Toronto, and I bought that was when messenger bags first came in.
Yeah,
those cross satchels, the satchels that everybody wants to wear nowadays. Yeah, but in 06, I mean, I stole this from all the Latin guys, by the way. Julio Mateo, Rafael Soriano with the Mariners.
Yep,
they all had these satchels, and I went and bought a Gucci one. Ironically, still to this day, I still have the exact same Gucci one, and we use it now. So it preserved itself. I use it for a long time. So if you're gonna buy something,
that's what I tell Ben.
Buy something that lasts.
That's what I tell
Quality.
Ben. He spends $7 on jeans and they don't last.
Well, hey, it's worked out for Adam. He saved a lot of money, and now he can go to Mauritius and Barcelona and spend a year abroad, and it's great. You're getting off easy today. We're going to let you go, Adam, because we got Jake Cronenworth standing by.
Oh, man.
No, he didn't get bumped. He did great. Awesome. He did a short, fine segment, and now you can go on with the rest of your day in Spain. Adam, we'll talk to you next week.
I appreciate it.
All
nice
right,
scheduling by us.
We go from one guest on our premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline to another, and joining us from Citi Field in New York as the Padres get ready to wrap up their road trip on getaway day. Always a pleasure to welcome Jake Cronenworth back to Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. Jake, good morning. Congratulations on the win last night.
What's up, guys? Good morning.
How you doing,
Thank
man?
You. I'm awake.
Arm a little sore.
Hey, it's much earlier here, Jake.
Yeah, it is. Our arm a little sore from wearing that one last night above the guard.
No, it's good.
Is it?
I got hit a lot last year, so I'm used to it.
You do get hit a lot.
He does get hit a lot.
Now, there are certain guys, whether you stand closer to the plate or you just don't pull back when the ball's coming in and you take your base. Is that a skill? Is that something you always kind of did? Why do you think you're among the leaders in getting hit, Jake?
I think it's probably just because I don't get out of
the way. Well, hey, you know what? We haven't talked to you since you signed the extension. So first of all, congratulations. Everyone in here was stoked. That was kind of a nice little bomb to get at like midnight on a Friday night. Congrats on the deal. We sat with you in spring training. You didn't even give us any inkling.
Usually they drop bad news at midnight.
Yeah,
on Friday.
They do.
Good news.
You didn't give us any inkling. When did all of this stuff kind of start? Because I saw AJ.
Even Manny hinted at a contract
extension.
You gave us nothing, Jake.
I saw AJ the next morning. And I said, "Congrats!" And he goes, "I'm so proud of Jake. He's really earned this." And when did that all start?
Probably right around when I saw you guys in spring training.
Nice.
Like that first or second week. Yeah. No, it was great though. I wish I was thinking about it. Our strength coach told me, he was like, you should have broke the news that you agreed to.
You should have. Nobody ever does, but you should have. Well, that's kind of what
we would like. That would have been great.
One time, like
Manny teased us.
He teased it, and it was great. But we had. I mean, look, it's obviously something that that we wanted, and you're celebrated very much in my home, Jake, and we were so excited to see that you were going to be a Padre for a very, very long time. It's funny, I was driving into work this morning and I was listening to a national show, and they were talking about this streak that the Rays are on, and that's kind of the organization that you came from. Is there, do you look at that, and it feels weird? Like I just picture you as a Padre. Do you still have friends over there in that organization?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all the coaches that are there in the big leagues are guys that I played for in the minors, outside of a few guys on the staff. So, I talk to those guys all the time. Some players still are there. A lot of us have been traded, but no, still talk to some of their coaches. Hitting coach I had back 3 years in the minor leagues, and no, it's great. What they're doing is awesome.
Talking to Jake Cronenworth here on Ben and Woods. Padres and Mets coming up at 10:10 this morning here on 97.3 The Fan. And we heard some talk yesterday from Manny, and Juan Soto's mentioned it as well, about the pitch clock and just having trouble kind of finding their new timing. Now, didn't bother Manny in the clutch in the fifth inning yesterday. That was a huge hit. But how are you finding now, now that the season is underway, finding that adjustment, how the umpires are enforcing it, how pitchers are kind of using it to their advantage sometimes with your adjustment period?
Yeah, I mean, we had it in spring training. I think for the most part everybody's used to it, but I think if there's one thing they could do to make it better is just make a universal clock that's just 20 seconds.
As opposed to the 15-20 separation. You have to think, wait, do I have 15 or I have 20 here? I can see why that can be a little bit stressful.
I think it just gives everybody the same rhythm, whether it's the pitcher, the hitter, and the umpire. And everybody's got their own rhythm to the game that they work by. And when you have two different rhythms that you're going by with nobody on compared to somebody on, I think if it was just the same timer all the time, I think it would be a much smoother game.
It's been weird. I mean, it's not just the stuff that happened with Manny last week. It's just been weird. It's been weird to watch in the big leagues, the violations. Mud was talking about it on the broadcast. Nobody's sure what these hand signals are, who gets the ball, who gets the strike. It's weird. It's going to be an adjustment, certainly, but looks like, listen, it's been some great games, man. The last few games have felt playoff, like playoff atmosphere. Do you guys feel that out on the field too?
Yeah, I think we're playing good baseball right now against some good teams. Obviously want to get a win today and finish off a really good road trip against a couple playoff teams. So that'd be great.
Do you have any favorite road trips over the course of the season? I know a lot of guys like to go to the city, New York. You'll be back in another month or so to face the Yankees, and I don't usually do 2 New York trips, but do you have certain cities that you like to visit or ones you don't?
I like visiting Chicago. All my friends live there.
Yeah.
It's close to home. I like playing at Wrigley. Yeah, I mean, I think it's always cool, outside of the city. I think it's just cool seeing different stadiums and playing in different environments and atmospheres. So get to check off some stadiums this year that I haven't played in, which will be fun, and see how the parks are.
That new giant video board at Citi Field is massive. It looks like it's right there, where you're looking as a batter too, straight in front of you. That thing is huge.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's pretty big, but I know on MLB The Show they made it double the size.
We're joined by Padres first baseman, sometimes second baseman, Jake Cronenworth here on Ben and Woods this morning. So last night we get to the 9th inning. Did you feel? I saw you and Polar Bear over there chatting it up. He's a chatty guy. You're playing more first base than you. I mean, you played a good amount last time. Is he one of the chattier guys when you get over there? Because I did watch in the Braves series. Somebody got on and didn't say a word to you. It might have been Matt Olson. I can't remember, but somebody got on and didn't say anything. And I'm like, it's so weird playing first base and having how's it going? Pretty good, man. How are you? What's it like? It's chit chat. The chit chat is so weird to me. And I like the chit chat.
No, I usually say at least hi to the guy, but no, it's actually Pete and I actually played together in high school.
No kidding.
Summer somehow. Yeah, we were on the same summer team after our junior years of high school. Somehow we just got on this random team that was playing in tournaments, and yeah, we played together. So we've known each other since we were in high school.
Do you know what the Cameo is, where celebrities will record like little video clips for fans and get paid like $50 for it? Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
All right. So Pete Alonso was on Cameo last year, and a Padres fan amazingly got this from him.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Pete Alonso with the New York Mets, and if you're watching this, you just lost to the San Diego Padres.
That obviously got a lot of play yesterday, Jake.
No comment.
He's at a loss for words right now. Again, congrats on the big deal. I wanted to know too. It's different when that signing bonus or something hits the bank account. Did you treat yourself to anything, Crony?
No, I have not bought anything.
Why?
He's got a reputation as a down-to-earth Midwesterner to uphold here.
Rolex, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't own much. I've been driving the same car for like 7 years now. It's like it's one of my family's old cars. I rode a scooter to the field for 3 years. I don't know.
Well,
how I am.
Now you're going to be here. If you need to buy a house, I think you know.
There's a
Call,
realtor,
my friend.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I
don't know. She referred to Xander Bogaerts as a cutie patootie last night.
Yeah,
So
a little
don't get too
competition.
jealous. So you got some competition now.
How great, by the way, we only have a couple minutes left, Jake. We're going to let you get to work. How great has Xander been, by the way? He's been unbelievable. My God.
Yeah, he's I think everybody knew what type of hitter we were getting with him coming in, but what he's done so far these first 11 games has been pretty awesome to see.
He's intense too. I like his game. One last quick one. Manny made one of the sickest, smoothest plays ever. You look surprised when ball hit you right in the chest. I thought for sure Crony's gonna have to stretch. He's gonna have to pick this one.
You're like gearing up for
one.
Oh
my God, that play
there.
to his left, drop step, and spins around and hits you right in the chest. Gets the guy by 5 feet. It's unbelievable, man. Makes your job a little easier.
Well, I told Kevin yesterday, AC, I told him that the problem is I can't see any of these plays happen anymore because I got my back turned. I'm running to the base.
Yeah.
So I don't even get to see the cool play. I just see the ball in the air. I'm like, oh, nice
right in the chest. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. keep it rolling today. No, everybody's going to get hot at some point, and it's going to be the nastiest team in baseball when it happens. But man, just keep up the great work, and everybody back here rooting for you, and we'll see you when you get back.
Awesome.
All right,
Thanks,
buddy.
guys.
Thanks,
See you soon.
Crony. Appreciate
Jake
it.
Cronenworth, always fun to have him on our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. Can we squeeze in another guest here this segment before the top now?
Anybody else want to jump on with Ben?
We're done with the guests for this segment at least. We still have just an hour plus to go as we lead to the early Padres baseball today. We'll talk obviously more about the game today. We had some basketball as well, some Aztecs news.
Yes, big Aztecs news. I need a Ben explanation.
You even tweeted about the Lakers last night. I was stunned.
I was trying to get under your skin.
On 97.3 The Fan.
Hello. Hi. 2/3 of the way home. Usually halfway home on a Wednesday. Today we are 2/3 of the way done. It feels so good. Does Jersey Mike's open at 9:30 by chance?
Not until 10, I think.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Son of a, what time's the game start? 10?
10:10.
All right.
Might have to order online.
DoorDash
Oh,
it is. I love a nice morning game. It's easy for us. And there's a lot of people bummed right now. They got to go to their 9 to 5 and figure out a way to watch the game and listen to the game right here on 97.3 The Fan. But Padres will take on the Mets. I do love an early getaway day. It's great. We'll have, time to hang with the kids tonight and not be pissy because, I need to watch the game as well. But need this win. Not need it, but would love to have this win. Just like Jake said, be really nice to take 2 or 3 from the Mets.
It's not a must-win game, but it certainly gives you a very satisfying road trip if you bring it home.
Well, there was a must-win game last night, and it's weird that I said to Ben this morning, I said, I want to talk some Lakers basketball, which is a weird thing I don't think I've ever said. So I'm watching on I didn't even put the game on. I did not see one live play, but I was watching on my phone on the, game log, and it would show every play and, bad pass. It would actually say bad pass from LeBron James picked up by so-and-so. Right.
That definitely happened a couple of times.
Right. So I'm watching it, and the Lakers are getting bodied. They're down 15 in the third, and I'm like, bro, we had just talked about, the T-Wolves suspending Gobert. Didn't they have another player?
They lost Jaden McDaniels to a broken hand.
Broken hand.
He punched a wall.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Lakers favored by 8.5, and they're down 15 in the third. And I'm like, what is going on in LA? So, I tweet. I was really trying to get under Ben's skin, and I said, Lakers, more like Lolkers. Right? Good one. Workshop that one.
I saw it. There was a bit of seething in my gut.
A little bit
but
of seething.
Let's wait and see what happens, because the Lakers have been down a few times, and then they turn it on, and all of a sudden you find that they're ahead by a few. So
as I was following along on my phone, I saw them creeping back in. Saw them cut it to 3. Saw them, end up tying the game.
LeBron hit a 3 to tie it at 95 in the last couple of minutes.
So then, though, I'm also following along on Twitter, and I'm watching responses and reactions from, the gamut. Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and maybe the biggest Laker fan there is, literally. He's tweeting about it. Mina Kimes is tweeting about it. Everybody I follow is tweeting about the Lakers. Now, again, I did not put the game on. I just was following my phone. People were like, this is literally the worst basketball game I've ever seen in my life. And I'm going, wait, this game looks awesome. Like it was back and forth.
It was both awesome and awful at the same time.
Why was it so bad?
Well, I fell asleep. I only watched the first half.
Yeah.
And it didn't look terrible. Like I saw a lot of 3-pointers.
Yeah,
Minnesota
Minnesota was hitting their shots. Lakers didn't hit their 3-pointers. That's why they were falling behind. But
woke up and Dave McMenamin, who covers the Lakers for ESPN, was like, well, they won.
Yeah.
It was ugly.
So
really ugly.
And they won by
second
6.
half. And I hate to make this comparison. It feels very unfair now that they just went to the Final Four in the national championship game. But until a month ago, if I said it was a very Aztecs-like game, you'd know what I mean.
You would.
Minnesota didn't score a basket for the last 6 minutes of the game. They were stuck at 95 until they had with 0.1 second left. Anthony Davis fouled Mike Conley on a 3-pointer in the corner down 3, and he hit all 3 free throws to go to the overtime. Not a good basketball play.
Man.
You can argue that he was just turning to box up. You can't even give the ref an excuse to make that call with 0.1 seconds left. He was trying to hit a 3 from essentially behind the backboard in the corner. It was an impossible shot. It missed by 5 feet, and yet they ended up getting to go to overtime. It could have cost the Lakers.
And that dude hit
their
all
entire
3
season. He hit all 3. What the first one kind of rattled around.
Oh my God!
You saw him just go because there's no coming back. You miss any of them, the game is over. But he made all 3, forced overtime. Lakers though stepped up in OT and ended up winning 108-102. So in that sense, there was a lot of drama, but it was turnover, missed baskets, back and forth. It felt like a February Aztecs game in many respects. It wasn't a crisply played NBA basketball game. Now, if it's, for playoffs and, do or die, and the Timberwolves do get another chance, they will play the winner of the second play-in game, which takes place today, Oklahoma City against New Orleans. And then on Friday, the winner goes to Minnesota.
Got it.
and the winner of that game gets the 8th seed. So they do have a second chance, but you just kind of were expecting crisper basketball with so much on the line to get to the postseason.
So Lakers move on.
Lakers move on.
They're going to go take on the Memphis Grizzlies.
Here we go.
Yep.
Now, is Ja back and everything's good with Ja?
They are healthy, I believe, and
Yeah.
will be favored, I think, in the series. No, you know that no play-in game winner, 7-8 in either conference, has ever won a series.
That's unreal.
Against the 1 or the 2 seed. It's never happened in the NBA.
It's only been a couple of years.
Yeah, I think it's the third year
they're doing
play-in
it.
tournament.
Well,
and for the Lakers, it was weird.
But
because
rightly so. I mean, it's 8 versus 1 and 7 versus 2.
It is, but the play-in winner in the NCAA tournament, they go on and they win all the time. They've gone to the Final Four. They've gone on runs constantly. But in the NBA, it's different. You best of 7 series, the better team usually wins.
wins.
Now, the Lakers have never been that play-in team. They were hot. I think they've won, 19 of their last 27 now going into this postseason. And a lot of people will think, I don't care if Memphis is the 2 seed. I still am taking LeBron and Anthony Davis and the Lakers in this series.
I mean, as long as those two are on the court, that's hard to bet against them, right?
It is.
In a series?
It is.
Yeah, I mean,
now, if they play like they did yesterday, they'll get swamped off the floor by the Grizzlies.
Well, I'm rooting for the Grizzlies, and not because of the LA thing. I'm rooting for the Grizzlies because they have unquestionably my favorite basketball player other than Michael Jordan of all time. And his name is Dylan Brooks. And I don't know that I have ever enjoyed a player more, me, the most novice of NBA fans, for one simple reason. The picture of him in his spandex shirt, his spandex tank top tucked into his jeans. When he was like, I'll kick that dude's ass. And he's like psychotic. Him going up, he's the one. Didn't he say, Paulie, I want the Lakers? Like, give me.
He said, I wouldn't mind playing LeBron James and the Lakers. He's not afraid of this series coming up.
He's the greatest.
Here it is on the YouTube channel.
He's the greatest. that get up. It's like he lost a bet. It's like, hey, Dylan, you didn't get that triple double you said you get. You got to wear the spandex shirt and tuck it in your jeans tonight. He's my favorite NBA player besides Jordan of all time. I can't wait. I can't wait for that. I'm going to watch this series just to see Dylan Brooks out there. He kills me.
Crypto.com Arena was rocking last night. Do you realize that was the first playoff game the Lakers have had in front of their fans? Because they won a championship in the bubble.
In the bubble.
With no fans.
God, remember the bubble.
And they made the playoffs the next year with like 5, the few people in the stands that they let in because of COVID, but not many. That was the first actual playoff game in front of fans in 10 years. Wow. 2013 was the last time
that's
the
unreal.
Lakers had played a playoff game in front of their home fans. The Los Angeles Lakers, a decade between playoff games for their fans. So they were understandably a little amped up for the game last night. And I think they helped. They were pull it out in the second half.
There's a 100% chance that my Halloween costume is Dylan Brooks. That's not even close.
If you're the Lakers, does Shannon Sharp just get his run of the place? Like, you want him to get inside.
He was the one, him and Dylan and Ja and Ja's dad. Yeah, Ja's dad.
I mean, they were chippy on the court.
Right.
The two teams don't care for each other.
Which is great. It's great for the game.
And then you throw in Shannon Sharp, like walking onto the court,
trying to fight Dylan Brooks and Ja Morant.
I still enjoy when they go around and show all the celebrities in attendance at the
Sure.
Lakers game. Who was it last night? Al Michaels was
I didn't see it. I
there.
was watching on my phone.
John McEnroe, Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B.
The
Jordan. Love
actor
Michael B. Jordan.
was at the game last night. They did the montage of celebrities attending the game. It's always fun.
I am so excited. When's this series start?
Sunday.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll be watching.
Saturday and Sunday are when the official first round series begin after the play-in tournament.
Now, you also teased big news for the Aztecs yesterday as well.
Yeah, they landed a transfer, the 6th man of the year in the Pac-12 conference last year, Reese Dixon Waters, who was averaged almost 10 points a game, but really he's one of those lockdown defender types that really fit the San Diego State mold. And I think it was telling that, UCLA was very hot after him. Top most historic program on the West Coast.
Where did he transfer from?
USC.
USC.
Texas. Rodney Terry, their coach, had flown out just a few days ago to try to recruit him to go to big school. They're going to the SEC. And come play for the Texas Longhorns. And instead, he shows up at Snapdragon Stadium on Saturday night, sees the whole celebration.
Killer.
Gets a little tour of everything from Dutch and the coaching staff, and a few days later announces his intention to become a San Diego State Aztec. Now, he can play right away.
Yep.
Got the transfer rules, his first transfer, and he'll have 2 years of eligibility remaining.
Amazing.
If he'd like to play at San Diego State. So, he'll not quite the scorer that Matt Bradley was, but there are some similarities. Bradley, of course, transferred from Cal. Wasn't quite as good of a defender, was more of a scorer. But they'll, maybe still have Jaden Ledee and Lamont Butler, depending on how things go in the NBA draft in the next couple of months. They'll have some experience coming back, and now adding, one of the better players in the Pac-12 last year, going to be big for San Diego State.
Talked about a lot about it, and we were very interested to see the fruits of the labor of Brian Dutcher and his team making the championship game. And I mean, look, it's paying off already. And again, Ben, you got to figure too, if other players see other players joining and say, man, that's a really good team. That looks pretty cool. Like the guy turned down UCLA, turned down Texas. I'm going to go take a look as well. And I'm going to take Brian Dutcher's call. And
now maybe he was going to go to San Diego State anyway,
all along, yeah.
Even if they had lost to Charleston. But my hunch is the Final Four run played a role in this transfer.
Well, it certainly helps the narrative. So
Yeah.
let's run with it. I think that's the narrative that you want to have out there, that if you play good basketball and you make it really far in the tournament, you will get better recruits.
And Dutch still has a couple of more spots for transfers if he wants. Big man is kind of the, I don't know that replacing Nathan Mensah's defense is going to be easy, but they're going to need someone who can play some interior defense next season, and that'll be the second biggest priority for Brian Dutcher here in the transfer portal season.
I was happy for him yesterday. That's a big get for them, and just gonna be fun to watch how it all plays out over the next few months.
All right, we're less than an hour away from Sammy's pregame show. We'll chat with Sammy a little bit before the show gets started, but when we come back, you got to pay off the incorporator.
Oh, Jesse
Agler yesterday gave him the word pluviophile. Someone who loves rainy days, to incorporate into the broadcast last night, and he knocked it out very quickly in that game against the Mets. We'll let you know how he did that coming up next with Bennett Woods, back after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. Well, guests on Ben and Woods appear on the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. Yesterday in our 8 o'clock hour, had Jesse Agler, the voice of the Padres, joining us from New York City. He'll be on
New York City.
On his way home in just a few hours. But on Tuesdays, we give him the incorporator word to weave into the broadcasts. And here's how it sounded yesterday on Ben and Woods. All right, well, Jesse, it's funny. You were just talking about the luck with the weather. Your word for tonight is pluviophile. Pluviophile, a person who takes great joy and comfort in rainy days, Jesse.
Pluviophile.
Okay.
A pluviophile.
That's a great word.
That's a phenomenal
I've never heard it.
Pluviofile. Pluviophile.
Pluviophile.
All right, so he seemed very confident. I had no doubt that Jesse would crush this one
early.
He always does.
Yeah.
First inning though, right? Yesterday, Paulie? Yeah.
Like 2 minutes in, if that.
He's like, I'm done with this.
Now 1-2 to Machado. It is weather-wise another lovely evening here in New York. The Padres have had exceptional luck with the weather, as we have said, really dating back to last year, but it has continued in the early goings in 2023. 1-2 pitch. Manny swings, hits it hard but foul the other way. Official game time temperature 69 degrees. Brought to you by HES Solar,
Nice.
the official solar provider of the Padres radio network. The smart play for your home or business is HES Solar. Not a pluviophile's ideal conditions on this trip, despite what you might expect this time of year, this part of the country.
No, you can't enjoy your rainy days.
Works a read in and then just jumps right into
Right.
it.
Who likes rainy days? I like 1, 3 max a
In a
year.
year.
A year.
3.
Little
3
chicken,
is the
little
max.
chicken soup.
Cuddle on
Cuddle in a
the
blanket.
Several
Yes.
months in between.
Yeah. Like a good.
Like we normally get this in this part of the country.
Let's-
3 a year.
Let's call it once a quarter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine with that.
4, like 1 in the winter, 1 in the spring, 1 in the summer, and 1 in the fall.
you probably get 2 in the winter and none in the summer.
none in the summer,
that's
but
still-
it
that's-
averages out.
It's a 4 a year. And
There
it-
are people that enjoy rainy days.
Well, and they've had a banner last 4 months.
They've
So
loved
the
it.
The pluviophiles have really, really gotten to enjoy the last few
Is
months.
HES Solar. Not a pluviophile's ideal conditions on this
Who
trip,
knew
despite
that San Diego would be the destination point for a pluviophile, right?
Yeah, you should move from Seattle to San Diego. If you're a pluviophile.
It is. It's been. It's even like drizzly right now, and I loathe it. I loathe it. You pay good money for sunshine.
I've obviously growing up here heard of May Gray and June Gloom.
Yeah.
I just heard the term grape roll for the first time. Apparently,
grape roll.
Apparently, we've got the onshore flow early and is now grape roll, which will be
my favorite thing ever.
followed by May Gray and then June Gloom.
Happy grape roll, everybody. That's amazing. I've never heard that before.
Did not
Brilliant.
realize that existed as well.
Grape roll.
Grape roll.
It rolls off the tongue. Grape roll.
Grape roll.
Yeah, it really is. Well, listen. All right.
You okay over there?
I'm good.
Elsewhere in Major League
What is
Baseball.
elsewhere?
It's also elsewhere in Major League
Elsewhere.
Baseball. We talked a little bit about the Rays going to 11-0 yesterday with a 7-2 win over the Red Sox, but there were a couple of great pitching performances yesterday as well. Shohei Ohtani continues probably the best start of his career pitching-wise. Had another lockdown performance, 1 hit allowed, 6 strikeouts, and a 2-0 win over the Nationals. His ERA is down to 0.47. He's also hitting 300 with three homers at this point.
Man.
It's much, much harder. I think he's given up fewer hits than he's gotten himself this season as a pitcher.
It's amazing.
Pretty crazy.
He's walked a lot of guys, but he's got the stuff to get out of
He
any
does.
jam he gets himself.
Yeah, you give up
into.
one hit, those walks don't usually
Yeah.
come back to haunt you. Corbin Burns, who
Future
had-
Padre, Corbin Burns.
had not. Oh, I don't know. Future Padre Shohei Ohtani and Corbin Burns.
This is the future Padres segment.
He had not gotten off to a great start, even though the Brewers had been cooking. His ERA was not terrific, but yesterday, Craig Counsell said one of the best performances he's ever seen. 8 innings, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts in a 7-1 win over the Diamondbacks. And if it continues to line up the way it's going, Corbin Burns would be scheduled to start on Sunday at Petco Park, his next outing against Yu Darvish. So might see him in town this weekend.
Do we cheer for him? Make him feel really.
We don't need to sign him as a free agent.
Really welcome.
He'd be more of a trade target, I think.
Love to have you here. They just lost Brandon Woodruff too. He went on the IL. I don't know what his.
I mean, with the way they're
injury
playing,
is,
though, he may no longer. I mean, if they keep, leading the Central.
Well,
they did it last year. I think that makes it harder though. After you had the Josh Hader trade, and really, who's the GM of the Brewers? I forget. He said though, obviously that didn't work out the way we were kind of hoping it would. I think you're going to be really gun shy if you're still in contention or you're leading the Central. I'm not expecting the Brewers to be big time sellers unless they fall out of contention. Now that may have been the plan. Plans change though when your team is playing well, and the Brewers have been playing very well here, at least in the early going of the season.
Ryan Mountcastle, who plays for the Baltimore Orioles, had himself quite an evening last night. Did you guys see this?
A niner?
Homered twice and tied a team record with 9 RBIs last night. RBIs or RBI?
You can go either way. I always say RBI. Runs batted in.
RBI. It should be.
But I don't nitpick at the people who say RBIs.
3-run homer in the 5th, grand slam in the 7th. I mean, holy smokes. Orioles are one of my favorite teams to watch when the Padres aren't on. I love some of their young players. Of course, Adley Rutschman, Ryan Mountcastle. They've got some really good young arms too. They're going to be a real thorn in the AL East side if they decide to build around these guys. They had the home debut for their top prospect, Grayson Rodriguez. He had a little bit of a rough stretch, which it happens. It's your first start in the big leagues, but the stuff is nasty. They've got a really nice glut of young talent there in Baltimore.
And then the Giants bounce back. They blanked the Dodgers last night. Had 6 different pitchers combined on a shutout in a win over LA. So the Padres currently 7-5, tied with the Arizona Diamondbacks for first place, a game ahead of the Dodgers, game and a half ahead of the Giants, and 2 ahead of the Rockies in a very tightly packed NL West standings through the first couple of weeks of the season.
They had a lot of Dodger fans last night on Twitter really lamenting Dave Roberts' decision. So Dustin May, now again, I'm not going to defend Dave Roberts. I'm not you, but Dustin May's coming off of, major injury to his elbow. He was down. They were down 2-0, but he was only at 77 pitches and he had locked it in. He was cruising, and Dave Roberts came out and pulled him, and game kind of got away from him. Their bullpen's not great right now. They're able to still score runs. That team seemingly can always score runs, even with, they got a really good young player, James Outman, who's playing outfield for them that is really, really good. And yeah, like you said, Muncy had that big night the other night, but they always find a way to score a lot of runs, but their pitching has really been a strength for them. And their bullpen is not great right now. And yanking your starters, he's kind of the anti Bob Melvin. Dave Roberts is. They kind of pull them out. I think their philosophy is, let's keep these guys fresh for down the road.
You can't keep both your starters and your bullpen fresh, though. You got to
exactly right.
You got to kind of go one way or the other.
And it always comes back to bite them. It really does. It comes back to bite them in the biggest moments. So
overall, it's very early still, but the Padres 7-5 record, it doesn't, stand out on the page.
Right.
But keep in mind, their series have been against a first place Atlanta team, a second place Mets team, a first place Diamondbacks team, and then the Colorado Rockies. Compare that with the 11-0 Tampa Bay Rays, who have played the last place Red Sox, the last place Tigers, the last place A's, and the last place Nationals in their first 4 series. Doesn't mean it's still not incredible what they're doing. They're 2 wins away from tying the all-time record to start a season. But and maybe some of these teams will start playing better when they don't have to face the Rays every single day. But again, there's a lot that goes into, records and at this early point in the season. And I think Padres are doing just fine.
Yeah, they're absolutely fine. It's still very, very early. Have not hit a very soft part of the schedule, but it's the big leagues. They're all going to be tough games, and you're going to lose games to teams that you shouldn't. But I do like how they've played so far. Man, been some heart racers so far this season.
Okay, it's funny. We were talking. You said earlier at the beginning of the show, it felt like a playoff game.
It did,
and I agree with you
for April.
But isn't it funny how if the Padres would have lost, it would have been Just flush it.
Flush it. Let's move on. It's no big deal.
But since we won, God dang, I felt like a
Boy,
playoff
those
team.
guys look good last night. I mean, you're playing in New York. You're on the biggest stage against Steve Cohen's Mets.
I think the game they lost to open this road trip, though, against the Braves, their opening day, very intense playoff game. They came up short, but I'm not going to diminish it because they lost that one.
Yep.
It had an intensity, and the rest of the series kind of followed the same vein as has this series against the Mets. It's been big time baseball
It's been a blast. So keep it rolling today.
All right. I think this is our last time out, actually, of the show here coming up. And then we'll take you all the way basically to Sammy's pregame show. When we come back, got an update on Fernando Tatis Jr. Another good night in the minor leagues at El Paso. First home game for the Chihuahuas.
God, he looked good.
Impressed the crowd and getting closer to his return to the San Diego Padres. And have more on today's matchup, which the Padres are in bad shape, but they're not in as good of a shape as they were going into yesterday's game. Let's say that. We'll talk about that when we come back on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. One of the
bad.
99.9% of songs that Brian Wilson doesn't hate by
Yes.
the Beach Boys. We
Yeah.
learned today, though. He hates one song, Sail On Sailor.
Sail on Sailor.
Not a fan.
Did he write it?
No, I don't think he did.
Maybe it was Mike Love.
That might be the problem.
He can't like Kokomo, but he wasn't in the band
At that
then.
point,
Kokomo
maybe
is
that doesn't count.
one of the worst songs ever written of all time.
It's an earworm.
Come on, pretty Ben. Love it. Look at him.
Ben's like,
I know
oh,
every
yeah,
word, though.
I hate that song
Yeah,
too.
Ben, that song sucks.
Yeah, I can't get it out of my head. You're right.
Yeah, the song sucks so bad.
It's not even a real place.
Polly,
They just
Bermuda.
made up- they
It's
just
in
made it
Indiana.
up.
There's only
in
couple-
Bermuda, Bahama.
Come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego. Babe, I want to take you down to Kokomo. So bad,
Take it
dude.
fast, and then we'll take
it slow.
That's where I'll go. Way down the street.
It's so awful, especially when you put it up next to their classics. You like that one or God Only Knows, and then you got that turd floating around in the bowl. Come on, man. Holy cow. All right.
All right,
Let's get it cranking.
Let's check traffic, and then we will wrap up this show with a little preview of today's game that we are leading right into here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Cadillac of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive-Thru Oil Change, a 15-minute instant drive-thru oil change. Wrapping things up with just a couple problems here, guys. Crash the coastline, south on 5 before Delmar Heights Road. They managed to get that moved over the right shoulder, and a collision has been moved over the right shoulder, eastbound King Freeway, right at the 125. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline Instant Drive-Thru Oil Change centers. You don't have to get out of your car, and it usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for discounts and locations nearest you. Valvoline Oil Change centers are open 7 days a week. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, so first of all, I did mention Fernando Tatis Jr. had another nice night last night, his first home game for the El Paso Chihuahuas. 3 for 4, run scored, RBI, stole another base.
All right,
Seems to be doing just fine right now.
We're good on
in the minor leagues.
We're good on the base stealing.
I you know what? At some point, you do want to make sure that he's going to stay healthy and be able to play when he comes up to the big leagues. You want to obviously get him tuned up, and you're not sitting him all week. But
No.
I'm good. I mean, what do we got? 8 more days until he can make his return on the 20th. I guess 9, including today, but really 8 more days. If he plays maybe 3 times, I'm fine with that. He doesn't need to play 7 more times.
I'm with you,
in the
man.
minor
I
leagues.
really am. After seeing the Joe Musgrove, and I think Joe's going to be okay. He's going to be back. I think if you had to ask Joe Musgrove, if you missed it, comebacker to the mound the night before last, kind of hits him, and then the adrenaline takes over. He runs, he jumps and leaps in the air and throws it over the first baseman's head, but he lands really hard on his shoulder, continued to play the game, but woke up with a shocker sore shoulder for the AAA team, which hey, Joe Musgrove is a $100 million pitcher. He's one of our guys that we are counting on. We need him here. We need him making these big starts that are coming up. And for watching Fernando last night, I mean, look, it's going to be this way for his entire career because that's just who he is as a player. And so you're always going to be a little bit on edge. And I think that's the beauty of who he is as a player. That's what makes him so fun. I mean, he's a guy, Ben, that can score from third on the pop up in the infield. I mean, he is the matrix move back to first base. It's going to be a heart attack for the next, however, 13 years that he's here, but you just can't corral him, man. He is going to be who he is. And he is going to be such a great addition to this team, man. I feel like it's going to be a shot of luck.
I think we really need to stress, though, that he hasn't been healthy the last couple of years that we have seen him, and now it looks like he is. He is finally healthy. We're going to get to see a fully unleashed Fernando Tatis Jr. When he comes back. There really won't be.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not. You think, oh, he's coming back. You'll probably need to be kid gloves. You really don't. You just let him play finally for the first time in a while. Just like every player, yes, you try to keep keep him healthy and keep him on the field. But it's not going to be this, got to change your swing to protect your shoulder.
Yeah.
And all the other kind of things that they had been doing. Those should be out the window now. So that's kind of exciting. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, he's going to make his debut. If everything goes to plan and there's no rainouts or any tomfoolery, it will be on the 20th, April 20th. When was his last game on the field in uniform for the San Diego Padres?
Would have been right at the end of the 2021 season. Yeah.
It's amazing. The electricity that's going to be in that ballpark is going to be through the roof. And when he makes his home debut, I mean, it's going to be unreal.
Now, the latest on Joe Musgrove, got a cortisone shot, but looks like he'll be able to make another rehab start in El Paso here in the coming days. And they're thinking possibly that same series in Arizona, the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Joe could make his first start of the year. Could you imagine if it was the 20th and you had both the Musgrove and Tatis opening day in Arizona at the same time?
I'd actually like to stagger them, give them both their
own days
their
in that series, but that's exciting news for the San Diego Padres coming up.
So I think we should talk about too what Ryan Weathers has done in his first two starts and the decision that Bob Melvin is going to have to. Right. We all kind of pictured. So you're going to go with a 6-man rotation. We know that, right? And your 6 men are Darvish, Snell, Musgrove, Lugo, Waka, and Weathers. I think he's earned.
So Martinez
has got to go to the pen, right?
You're sending Martinez to the
already. Pen. What do you do? Has Ryan Weathers earned the right to another start? I really liked what I saw from him last night, man. I really did.
Bigger question, when you activate, and again, this is hypothetical because it's not going to happen and things change in a week, but if Joe Musgrove was coming back today, who do you send down?
I know.
Brent Honeywell?
No chance.
Pitched really well.
No chance.
Is Nabil on the outs and
going
back to the minors?
Is it Tapia? Is it Domingo Tapia who, again, it's going to be.
After his first outing, he's thrown quite well.
He has good stuff. He has good stuff. So, look, these are great problems to have. I think teams would kill for these problems, but I think Ryan Weathers and Nick Martinez. I'm supportive of the want and the desire to be a starting pitcher, and he hasn't pitched terribly this year by any stretch. He hasn't, and he's a gritty, gutty guy. He'll go out and get you, throw some pitches and. But man, he was so good in that role. It's like if they're, and he's a guy, he signed a good contract with this team. He's getting paid well. He's a guy that's going to take the role that they give him. I think Ryan Weathers has earned the right to at least another start. Don't you?
I think, he's earned the right. That doesn't mean he's going to get it. He's got options and they may want him to stay ready to go with AAA. That's how baseball works sometimes. And it doesn't mean that you failed when you go back down to the minor leagues. It means they need you to be ready there at a moment's notice to come up and make a start. Because they'll need him again at some point, even if they do send him down. But maybe he stays in the rotation and Nick Martinez goes back to a swing role. It's a lot of money to pay a swing role guy, though, what they just signed him for. He doesn't have to start, but it's you want better innings from Nick Martinez than just, Blake only went 4, so we'll give you the 5th and the 6th here. I don't know. I mean, you're paying him to do more than that on your team than just be the mop up middle of the game sort of guy.
Because he wasn't a mop up last year. I don't look at Nick Martinez and what he did last year
as a Swiss Army knife.
He was really had the ability to do a lot of different things. I like that, and we have that in some of the position players as well this year. But I don't know. I mean, I really was impressed with Ryan Weathers last year. That you want those guys. You want those young, controllable. He's left-hander. I mean, a guy tweeted me last time, what is his role in this team? After he walked the 2 guys and it was bases loaded, nobody out. What's his role on this team? He doesn't belong. We got to send him down. Then the guy goes out and pitches his ass off, gets out of that, and then throws you, 5 quality innings, really good innings.
I mean, it's funny because if Pete Alonso had
barreled
one, we'd probably be talking completely different today. Ryan Weathers wouldn't have made it through 5. Maybe it wouldn't even made it through 1. And we'd be ready to send him down. And can Joe get back faster so we can replace Ryan Weathers? That's how much one at bat can affect a player, a career, a season.
No doubt.
Right there.
There's no doubt about it.
We got goodies.
Yeah, we did.
Paulie
We did
just
get
brought
goodies.
in a bag of goodies. Show everybody on the video stream what we've got here. Padres dropping off the giveaway for the next homestand. First, they have the Juan Soto bobbleheads, but then on Tuesday, April 18th, with the Braves coming to town, fans, first 40,000 fans in attendance, going to receive a free 1998 Trevor Hoffman replica jersey presented by Motorola.
Now, this is not a jersey. It's
an actual jersey material. You can feel
buttons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
buttons.
Pretty good quality, man.
In that 1998
I like
style
this.
of pinstripes with the blue and orange Padres. Now, is that going to fit you, Woods? Because it does come in multiple sizes.
This is a medium.
That's a medium, maybe a medium.
So this should fit like
Yeah,
a
a little-
glove. Hey,
As a
Dylan
good
Brooks.
baseball uniform should. You don't
Tuck
want
it
too
in.
much. You don't want too much excess material when you're going out there.
Tuck it in.
Sharp. Woods is looking sharp.
This doesn't feel that.
That's what you'd look like if you had
That
gone to a baseball
guy
game in
in a little
1998.
jersey.
You popped the button already, though.
Fighting for its life. There we go.
Well, the good news is
Those
they'll
buttons are doing the
they'll
Lord's
have
work.
extra large available for
Look at
the
you.
rest of us.
Why would they bring a medium? Who on this
There's
station is fitting
larges.
in a
There's
medium?
extra larges. I mean,
Tony Gwynn Jr. might be able to slide
Sammy
into
could
the
fit in a medium.
Yo,
Yeah, that's a Sammy.
Medium, Sammy. Can you do medium out there? So the giveaway item celebrates the 25th anniversary of the Padres over the Braves in the NLCS. Special pregame ceremony celebrating members of the team. Trevor Hoffman throwing out that first pitch. So if you want to go out and heckle him, Woods, that's your opportunity.
My turn.
6:40 start. Gates open 90 minutes prior to first pitch. And the giveaway, again, only available first come, first serve basis. So plan to get there early. You can check out all the Padres giveaways at padres.com/giveaways.
They got a lot of good stuff coming up. They're doing such a great job with everything right now. A lot of concerts. We're gonna have Eric Grupner on Friday while you're on vacation again.
Who were in the background of some sort of TikTok that Sammy's doing.
Good.
Yeah.
Go global.
Excellent. So today's game,
Get Sammy in here.
after yesterday, and Ryan Weathers, well, he did well, 5 innings. You had needed 4 out of your bullpen.
Yeah.
You're going to want to see Blake Snell a little bit better than we've seen in the first two, a lot better than we've seen in the first 2 outings for Blake Snell, his 3rd start of the season. And you're going to be counting on him in this getaway day game after a night game. Throw some strikes, pitch deeper into the game. We've been saying this for 3 years now with Blake Snell, and it doesn't seem to really change. We know he'll get better as the season goes on.
We do.
We know
Yeah.
he's a second half guy. Why can't he throw some strikes in the first half of the year, though?
It's a good question. I mean, and let's be honest about Ryan Weathers last night. I loved his performance, but there was some Snellian moments. 3-2.
So it's an adjective now. Snellian.
Yeah, it's a Snellian performance. And there was a lot of deep counts and things like that. It's hard. I mean, that game at that level is so hard. And we all like to sit here and say from our couch, 40 pounds overweight, bro, just work off the fastball. You throw a 96, and if you don't locate it, those guys are going to pound that ball. All right. They're just going to. Blake, I think, though, has the swing and miss stuff. He would not be a comfortable at bat at all. Like you would. I'm a right-handed hitter.
I get it. I
get it too.
I see that spin coming
Oh
in.
my
I'm just not
God.
swinging
They're not-
because
yeah.
I know I can't hit it anyway. It's going to be breaking so much that I have no hope. So my idea is, well, maybe it'll break so much that it misses the strike zone, and I'll get ahead in the count.
I feel like a goober coming on the radio before every bump day and saying, hey, man, if he can do this and if he can do that, he can get through 6 innings. I mean, I don't feel like the ask for Blake Snell from the organization or the fan base is all that much. I don't feel like Blake Snell needs to be
We're not
Garrett
asking for
Cole.
9.
No, I don't think he has to be Cole or Burns or Alcantara. I don't feel like he has to be that. And I wonder, he has that kind of stuff. There's no question. I wonder if it's, as usual, I wonder if it's something in his head of like, I need to go out and pitch like a Cy Young caliber pitcher, and I need to go, 7 innings.
Whether it's that
just
or not,
who
it's
he
always
is.
something in his head.
Yeah,
It's clearly not physical with Blake Snell. He's got the physical tools.
No doubt.
It's mental, but pitching is like 90% mental.
It really is, man. It
Anyway.
really is. So I feel like it's a bit of a fool's errand. I'm hoping, I'm praying for 5 innings from Blake. It's not a huge ask from a number 2.
And he's going up against a guy who's thrown very well in
Yep.
his first 2 starts for the Mets, Tyler McGill.
Is it Tylor?
It's the OR at the end of his name, so I like to call him Tylor.
Tylor.
Sounds more like an evil alien character.
Well, Same Levitt has joined us here this morning. He's got an A in the middle. I don't know if it's a long A or a short A, but it's Same. Good morning, buddy. How are you?
Good morning. It's been wonderful listening to you guys all morning
We've had
here in our Odyssey studios.
You've been here all morning.
Well, I like getting here early. I'm usually here pretty early to begin with,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, 2 hours before a pregame. But I just want to be able to write down all my notes and get here early, especially like this early in the morning. Get my breakfast, some coffee,
Get
sit
dialed.
down,
Yeah.
2-3 hours, and just be here.
Kudos to you for I woke up to a couple of DMs. People were listening to the post game show.
I was listening to the post.
Ben was.
Show.
I fell asleep. But kudos to you for the.
I was looking forward to hearing all the excited Padres fans just praising the team and
for a gritty, hard-fought win.
And I turn on and I hear someone just going off on how the Padres. I'm paraphrasing here. Sicken him.
Yeah, he threw his phone.
He's like physically ill.
He was ill.
watching his baseball
I hate
team.
this team.
Like,
Well,
my God, how did
he
you make it through the 2000s? If this team sickens you,
He was very worked up about the Padres in the 9th inning with Campusano on second, nobody out, up by a run in a spot, in fairness, where you're looking for an insurance run.
No doubt.
His point initially, before things really got heated, just about the team in general, his point initially was that he wanted them to bunt Campusano to third.
Sure.
Look, in 30 years ago, they may have done that. You guys know that's really not the way a lot of teams play. The Padres don't typically do that. We didn't see that a lot last year. And at that point, you have Grisham up, lefty hitter, guys already in scoring position. Look, it's not the way teams play. But I will say this. We had a lot of phone calls last night. Admittedly, we've been having tons of phone calls in general, so I've been taking more of them this year. Everything else was pretty positive, but we had one that was not.
Grisham's a good bunter. He does it on his own a ton. So
Yes.
you feel like he can get it down. You've got Soto up next, right? A guy who generally is good at making contact. You're up 1. Had Xander Bogaerts not hit that 2-run home run and it stayed 2-1, and the Mets ended up tying the game in the bottom of the 9th inning, we might be having that same conversation on the show today.
I do go back and forth on the I do go back and forth in the bunting thing. I do. I will completely tell you that I am a hypocrite, and that Bo, my 5-year-old, came in the other day and he was like practicing bunting. I go, stop. I go, you're a good hitter. You just hit. We'll get there down the road. I said I bunted because I was a terrible hitter and I was afraid. I don't want that mentality in you that and it's giving away outs is really, it's hard. In my mind, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. You never want to give away an out. And that's essentially what you're doing. Trent's good enough.
Right.
Now, in my opinion, I was watching that same thing, and I was pretty livid that he didn't at least get the runner over. You got Ottavino on the mound. He's going to throw that slider. He's going to work you inside. Pull the ball and get that runner over. You have a job to do. Situational hitting in baseball, it's a little bit gone by the wayside, and I understand that. So there's a small part of me that agrees with, yeah, it's frustrating. Now, you won the game. At the end of the day, you won the game. But listen, if you're in a playoff game and that's the same situations there, I'm probably screaming at the TV as well, going, bro, get him over. My God, but then again, you're still giving away an out, even though it's a playoff. So I realize I'm a hypocrite. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know.
Do you want to hear the call?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Padres have to generate runs. We can't wait for home runs. We got a bunt in the 9th inning with a gift on second base. Nobody out on second, and they're swinging away again. I'm throwing the phone. I'm yelling at the phone. I'm watching the gamecast, and I can't tolerate this garbage. Bunt the guy to third. Let's get the sacrifice fly and get the insurance run. Stop. Whoever's Melvin doing it, I don't know who's not interjecting the correct call, but you got to fundamentally bunt. Arizona is going to be very good this year because these rabbits bunt and they're fundamentally sound in everything. And I think the Padres can't sit there and wait to swing away like our 190 hitting Soto just waiting for a home run. This guy, I would put him in 6th. and bat, he's a cog in the offense. I love what Bogarts is doing. I love a lot of good things with Campusano and everything, brother. But as a family, listen, I'm telling you, if we don't bunt and learn to fundamentally bunt and our manager wake the hell up and bunt when it's needed, you can need insurance runs, my friend. You can't just sit there and wait for a home run. I've had it with this team already.
Wow.
And I'm an easygoing guy, and I love it, man.
Sound like
but I tell you, it's frustrating to watch no fundamentals with this team just swinging away.
I mean, the team has good fundamentals. It's the game of baseball. Somewhere some guy figured out we're going to win more games than we lose if we stop giving away outs.
Right.
Because back in the day, you used to see single, bunt him to second, and then you're praying for a base hit. You're still praying for a base hit at that point.
Part of what I think doesn't get translated, and not just him specifically, the caller, but you don't get the bunt down every time. Pitchers are really good.
Right.
They're
Yeah,
throwing
dude.
nasty stuff. And by the way, you bunt them over, you don't get the guy home every time because, again, pitchers strike out more guys nowadays. They're
Yeah.
nastier, and you end up leaving the guy anyway.
Boy, is there
and you got him closer to that third out by giving him one.
How pissed are you when a guy squares the bunt and can't get the bunt down?
Yeah.
You think waiting for a base hit or trying to hit a home run's tough. Guy doesn't get the bunt down, pops it up, hits it back to the pitcher. Now Campy's in a rundown, and now you
But
lose your
it's
runner.
not
Oh,
simply
my
because
God.
these guys don't know how to play fundamental baseball.
Correct.
It's not easy to put the bat on the
Right.
ball
Yeah.
against major league pitching nowadays. 30 years ago, when guys were throwing 89 tops, didn't have as much movement. Yeah, you should be able to get a bunt down.
Yeah.
Nowadays, 98 sliders, going not that easy.
Ottavino spins it too, man. He does.
Grisham is a guy who does bunt.
He does
quite
bunt
a bit.
well, yeah.
But keep this in mind. I mean, how often do you see a lot of these guys lay down a bunt? Never. I mean, they lay them down in batting practice
Yeah.
when they start every day. But I'd love to know how many players per year, how many hitters per year go an entire season without swearing to bunt one time.
I'd say the
Has to be
majority.
a lot,
I mean,
right?
I'd say the majority.
So, and by the way,
Honestly.
that call was after they won the game.
They won the game. That's the tough part for me. Again, fan how you want, but that's a big win last night,
Yeah.
and that was a really hard fought victory from the San Diego Padres.
I get to do a very broadcaster thing right now, which I rarely get to
Do
do.
it.
I'm
Do
going
it.
to
I know what you're
enjoy it.
There we
doing.
go. He's gonna get fancy.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the San Diego Padres Radio Network.
Beautiful.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
If you live, breathe, and sleep sports, you have to listen to me, Jock and Tara, the Jock and Tara Show for the passionate sports fan from 10 to 2 on 97.3 The Fan.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Yeah, and this hour on 97.3 is brought to you by Viejas Casino and Resort. The daily jackpots at Viejas Casino and Resort are on fire. Players have hit huge wins with bets as low as 50 cents. Check out their jackpot winning smiles on the Viejas Facebook page. Want to join them? Who knows? The next jackpot winner could be you. Viejas Casino and Resort.
Good point here
Paul
by
and I
our
coordinated that whole sequence.
Yeah.
It was great. It was like ballet.
Josh makes a good point. It was Grisham that could have bunted, but it was Azucar who was on deck, who struck out. It was not Juan Soto.
That's right.
8 spot, and then
Yeah,
That's right. Grisham was down in the order,
And
not
Bogarts
bad
is
leadoff
leading
like
off.
he is
Yeah.
today.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you trust Jose Azocar to get a deep enough fly ball to bring home a run? Obviously, they're going to be bringing the infield in that situation probably. To
Yeah,
cut off
I'm
that
gonna
third run.
I'm gonna trust Grish. I'm gonna trust Grish to get that run, like to single that run in. Or
I didn't have a problem with any of it.
No.
Like Grisham, number one, he's a left-handed batter.
Yep.
So you think at the very worst,
he's gonna pull it.
he can pull it, get the runner over. You've got the number 9 batter after that. So it's not the part of the lineup you really want up to drive in runs,
Right.
although Zokar's done some nice things. I mean, I didn't think twice about it.
I really didn't either.
And honestly, again, in today's day and age, I don't know, in a spot like that, I find myself for the most part thinking or not thinking that a team's going to bunt.
You
It's
just
not the way
drive
they
it,
play.
try to drive him in,
It's just
hit a
not.
ball in the gap, and go forever. Again,
It all
just
worked out.
It boils down to giving up outs. Just giving free. The outs are so very valuable. Giving up outs never seems like a smart strategy. It was for guys like me that were terrified of hitting. So yeah, great. Nothing made me happier than getting that slap on the ass after I got a runner from first to second with nobody. Yeah, attaboy, Woodsy. In their mind, they're going, bro, just hit the ball. Just hit one in the gap and see if you can score him. Like, It's just giving away outs does not seem like a good strategy, and I feel like you're going to win a lot more ball games than you lose.
So I'll tell you, it's a lot more fun nitpicking after a win than lamenting a loss.
No doubt.
So if you want to keep doing that, we can always discuss. But again, if I told you the Padres would be 7-5 after 12 games, Woods, you'd say, well, that's probably, I was hoping for a little bit better, but that's okay.
Hey, I said it on the post game last night. I'll probably say it in a few minutes here. They have an opportunity today to make this a great road trip.
No doubt.
5-2 against these two teams on the road. That'd be a great trip. Already a winning road trip.
Yep.
But this could be like a really good early season. I don't, want to say season defining, but like really, really good trip to start the year.
It goes to show you, we can hang, and we all knew that. We have great expectations for this team. So I think that's why enthusiasm, maybe sometimes misguided, is a little bit ratcheted up. I feel it. I feel it at home. I was screaming at the TV last night. I was kind of a D to my kids last night. I'm like, go in there and play. I got 1 inning left. You've been fed. Please give me 10 minutes. Like, I'm feeling it as well as a fan because the expectations are through the roof.
And as we said yesterday, Padres in a gnarly part of their schedule. First place Diamondbacks, first place Braves, second place Mets, first place Brewers, first place Braves, and then First place Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
Again. I mean, this is a tough April.
Tough start. A lot of games, a lot of days.
Samuel will have all your pregame show coming up in just a couple of minutes, including today's lineup. I will tease that Ha-Seong Kim's getting the day off today, but Samuel will have the full lineup for you and all the pregame fun. With Tony, I think will join him in a couple of minutes, right? Because he had Jesse yesterday. Is that how it works? It's Jesse's day.
Yes.
All right, either way,
Jesse's
it's always
coming
fun.
up at like 9.
All next for Paul, for Woods, I'm Ben. We're out of here on 97.3 The Fan.
Quinn and Chris on The Fan.
Coming up on Wednesday.